Go ahead.
I don't think Pittsburgh is an ideal place for Shedeur or for any young quarterback, but particularly for Shedeur because he's not mobile. The offensive line is not good at at pass blocking. There's no running back to take the heat off of him, so he's gonna be he's not ready to start for a team that's lacking those types of things. And Pittsburgh is being rumored to have been possibly trading Pickens. They're putting out feelers to say, hey, Pickens is available if you want to trade for him. And I don't think that that's a good idea, especially if you have a young quarterback coming in, because now you go to just having Metcalf as the only proven receiver. And then you got a bunch of also rans who were the same ones you had last year who really couldn't get the job done. So, but it's kind of crazy when you think about the possible tumble that Shedeur might be taking because he was so hyped and he did so much. He's done so well at Colorado as far as from a statistical standpoint.
I think I think the NFL owes Shedeur a first round pick because the NFL is known for marketing quarterback up against NBA players. And then we everybody else. Shedeur Sanders and Travis actually help. Not that it needs help, but they were definitely part of the plan to get the NFL seen in 2025 for the draft. And so, profitability standpoint, you owe them the first round. And I'm asking myself if he falls, if he's still available, will Dallas?
Yeah, I think for him career wise, for success early on, the farther he falls, the better off he'll be because he's going to a better team. I, I do think that both he and Cam Ward, if this had been some other drafts and they were coming off of the same types of performances that they had this year, I don't think either one of them would be. I don't think they would be like the top two quarterbacks. I think
Well,
this
we
is
already see that
yeah, it's
they had him second round if he went last.
yeah. So this
So
is
him to prove he's better than those guys.
it's almost like now you're having to overdraft players just because you need somebody at that position.
I know
And
this. I still get the blue and some navy because I will be wearing a Cam Ward jersey. I don't know, and 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 let's not. I'm in the for
yeah, but you
I
don't
mean,
want to be
decided what I'm gonna do.
yeah, you don't want to be in the portal and make a move like Nico did and go from 2 million to less than 2 million in a higher tax bracket because of you go somewhere from zero state income tax to the highest state income tax in the country.
Let me let me let me let me let me enter. Uh, shout out Pope. Rest in peace.
Will Campbell
He
selected
didn't
by the
come to
Patriots.
no more. So Will Campbell,
I had him fifth.
so that means the two quarterback areas over
Yeah,
where the one
yeah. So yeah, and no, rest in peace to Mongo, um, who went on to glory yesterday.
yeah, he
Mongo,
went
for those of
on.
you who don't know, yeah. So Steve McMichael, defensive tackle from the Chicago Bears, particularly all remember from being on the '85 Bears defense. He was battling ALS for a while, so
Yeah, man.
gone at age 67. It's kind of sobering when people that you watch growing up, when you see them pass on, players that you saw and guys who kind of had a larger than life persona, and you see them going, and you're like, wait a minute, hey, he's just 67. It's not like he was old, but of course, yeah, ALS. But just when you see these guys go,
My bad.
yeah,
Um,
just when you,
um, Will Campbell, so LSU goes to the New England Patriots, and um, he's going to be. Is that Drake?
Drake May, yes, he'll be protecting his blind side.
Right.
So I had Ashton Genty going to the Patriots because simply because Vrabel saw what having a franchise, a workhorse back such as Derrick Henry did for him when he was in
Oh, he did.
Tennessee. Yeah, but that's a good pick. I mean, you got May. You think he's your quarterback of the future. You do need to do everything possible to protect him, particularly protect him from his blind side. So, and Campbell is a very good pickup. So, I don't have any issue with that. I'm sure Drake May was happy to see. Okay, they got somebody to cover my flank now. So that's a very good pick for them. Uh, but speaking of picks, I don't like that suit that he picked.
You know what? We can add that to the category because I'm currently in 04
hmm
and out tonight. I mean, I kind of want to give Abdul Carter a little bit of credit for next time.
hmm
Cam was casually like he was in the pocket.
Yeah.
Uh, the, the Hot Pink Institute Travis had
But we haven't seen, but it's still early. We haven't seen anything just completely outlandish because we've seen
we
in the
have
past some of these guys come out with like what okay, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You don't need so though they are rather these have been rather conservative with the exception of the hot pink.
Orange. He missed.
Cleveland is Cleveland picking Genty? Did they or they get just the time they pick the heir apparent, the replacement for Nick Chubb? And
We
we know they like that Stefanski likes will like to run the ball, and quarterback wise they got an old man at quarterback unless they say we're going after Shedeur. Shedeur makes sense here if they need a quarterback. Do you really want to have that much money tied up in quarterbacks, or do you want to roll the dice with Flacco, and
that Flacco. Uh,
then you got Genty at running back. At least you know that position taken care of. I think they're going after Genty
I think they're going. I think they're going to shoot it.
because, like you said, the best one of the best friends a young quarterback can have is a workhorse running back. But an old quarterback, his best friend is also a workhorse running back.
I E.G. Johnny.
Yeah, because I mean, they probably wanted Genty all along anyway,
Right.
and they get him a little. They get him a little cheaper now, also. Oh, Mason Graham, D tackle out of Michigan.
That is not that that is not a bad pick. When I was watching, when I was looking at it, when I created the intro for our game,
Yeah.
that was the first time I really had the opportunity to really look at footage. So, you know, I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out the thing that goes with it. And so Graham's one of the ones I was like, Buddy got a little motor. He's short,
Yeah.
but he got a motor. He has a motor, you know. And I particularly pay attention to him because of Dallas in the
Right.
trophy.
I mean, he would have been, if he had fallen far enough, he would have been a good pickup for Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh does need to find an heir apparent to Craig Hayward. I mean, to Cameron Hayward. Yeah.
Oh, his suit game, nah, nah.
Hey, so far, really, the suit game
It
has been
can't,
like,
it
hey,
can't be
hey
bad,
man, hey
boy.
man, we in Green Bay, ain't nothing fancy out here, so just put on whatever.
Right. That might be. That might be. That
And
might
it might also be, hey, we don't seen some people going broke. We don't have the money yet. We're gonna make sure we sign this contract before we go out and get some overly custom tailor made suit.
Hey, it might be. It might be tariff. Hey, they might be. All these suits might be made in America.
Yeah, but that's a good pickup for Cleveland because their defense was among the worst in the league last year.
Absolutely.
And they were 27th in points allowed. So you
So,
need somebody to stop.
so now you got a middle puncher, and you just paid uh
Garrett.
Garrett, free him up. I see. I just see over at the car. I saw both.
Yeah.
See that?
Mm-hmm. And it also helps out to Ward at the corner
It
position
depends how
also
big this
to
for.
get some more heat on the quarterback. So, you know, only thing about it is Cleveland. Me personally, I thought they were gonna go after Vernon Mack,
Okay,
Devontae Mack. I thought they
Devontae.
were gonna go after him. Yeah.
Hey,
No
because
matter what.
look at the tape. Look at the tape. What was the quarterback? Who was supposed to go first?
Bo Callahan.
Okay, okay.
Bo Callahan is the real deal. Don't overcomplicate this.
Exactly.
Yeah. How do you feel about the fact that now they rotate the draft around and they take it to all the different cities?
Uh, I don't like it because I think the the reality of all lights in New York. You know, you're the star. Oh, I know Green Johnson can't. You know, can't duplicate. So
Mm-hmm.
you give these players who are going to be in the small market an opportunity to just kind of have their moment and then get back to reality. So I don't because it's going to fall in a city that doesn't give
And the Raiders have selected Ashton Genty
that
with the
that's
sixth
who I
pick in
picked
the
him.
draft.
They picked him quick.
Yeah. They didn't even oh, it's our pick here. Here go the card, Commissioner.
Already.
Now there's been some question about if how is he gonna do against top notch competition. People came started to say, hey, Boise State, he didn't play the best of the best. Do you
Okay,
think his game? Do you think his game translates?
I think he went to a conference, the NFC, AFC, that allows his game to translate. A lot of people are like, oh, AFC had the top defenses last. Man, please, Chargers, Denver, Raiders. You know, they ain't playing. Chiefs, maybe. He, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, I was wrong. Did you see the flag on
yeah.
the terror? No.
I'm glad to see a running back go in the top, go this high because they tried to keep saying that the running backs you can just get one anywhere and plug them in, and the fact of the matter is you can get one in any round and plug them in, but is he gonna be a difference maker? Is he gonna be a dominant back? That's what you, because ideally that's what you want. If you can get you a workhorse dominant back, that's what you need, as opposed to having to do the back by committee stuff. And Genty, I believe, is a workhorse back, and he's gonna get the job done. I also think that what we saw out of all these free agent running backs last year, them putting up numbers, I think that helps. That helps bring value back to the running back position for both in free agency and as drafting them out of college. So I think this past season helped, and also what Genty did, and he doesn't have a great deal of mileage on him. I think we know Pete Carroll likes to run the ball, so that's a good thing for him.
Pete Carroll, like backs.
Yeah. So he is gonna. So I think it's a good fit for him. And
Right.
hey, and we also know, yeah, and we also know financially it sells tickets. It's gonna
Financially,
sell tickets.
it's tough because they currently have a roster, and she also is better. It should help. They don't. They
Hmm.
don't you know, is impactful for Vegas.
Yeah, because I mean they're not winning this year anyway, but at least he helps them become a little more interesting. So it's going to be,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now we got oh, this round is moving fast. We already picked number 7. These teams already know exactly who they're going after. They aren't wasting time,
You know
which I
what?
like.
It's almost like I'm going to look at all types of this because we might.
Yeah,
With the
and
trade,
yeah, and like you were saying, you don't care for them having the draft moving around different cities. I I'm a traditionalist, so I like hearing the Jets boo their picks,
yeah,
fans boo their picks every week.
yeah.
But
And
I
move
every
around.
year, yeah. But I do like I have become a fan of them moving it around because different teams get to put on and show, because certain cities nobody's done a bad job yet, and next year is going to be in Pittsburgh. So,
And
and I
see,
think, and
right.
when they go to traditional cities
Pittsburgh
that
is a
have
good.
been here and stuff, I think it's pretty good.
I think what it does is it in a positive light. Like I said, I'd rather be in New York, and
Yeah,
I'm not gonna change that. But in a positive light, every city can't host a Super Bowl.
right.
So
They can't.
it allows you to move it into a city or some kind of event that you may be able to get a Super Bowl. And
Right.
maybe this turn into something, you know.
Yeah, because let's say Buffalo, New York is not going to host the Super Bowl, but they can host. But they can host the draft.
This time of the year,
Yeah,
they exactly,
yeah. So
absolutely.
yeah, but it's. I tell you, someone he's not. He might go in the second round, possibly the third. We're talking quarterbacks. Jalen Milroe. I became a fan of him just the other day when I was listening because he said they asked him about, you probably looked at as going in the second round, maybe third. You're not looked at really as a first round pick, yet you're coming to Green Bay for the draft. And he said, I just want to hear my name called. He said, I've always wanted to hear my name called. I want to be there. I want to be able to soak it in. I want to be able to tell my kids and I'll say one day, hey, dad or granddad, hey, I got drafted. I was in Green Bay when it happened. They called me up. I walked out. I shook the commissioner's hand or whomever, whenever round he's picked. And he said, I'm just thankful to get a shot. He said, it's for me, it's not where I'm drafted. It's the fact that I'm here and I get the experience because you only get drafted once. I get the experience. I get to share it with my family that's here. He said, I'm just I'm just glad to have the opportunity. And I thought that was refreshing for me to hear as opposed to a lot of guys just saying, hey, I'm not going because of this, that, and the other. And this is a guy who's, unless something unexpected happens, his name's not going to get called tonight. But it's possible that his name gets called tomorrow. And it won't be by Pittsburgh unless Pittsburgh makes a deal and gets back in the second round because they don't have a second round pick.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
But
what do you why the commercial break?
say it again.
Why we on commercial break?
Yeah, I just think that I'm just looking to see where Shedeur is going to end up. He's a big fish right now. Everyone wants to know where he's going to be.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah,
isn't this team draft?
the Jets.
Yeah.
No, that's not my team.
Why you wearing?
Because they're in Green Bay, I decided I'd wear green just to show some solidarity with the NFL going there.
I can't talk about that. We talk about the sheep head. And most of it's yellow. You defecting, man.
What?
You defecting.
Oh no, never that, never that. I'm just showing some solidarity with the NFL since they're in there. Like next year, I'll be wearing black and gold for the draft because
That
hey, it's
makes
gonna be in
sense, though.
Pittsburgh. Look, man,
I
don't
don't know.
worry about my color scheme. I'm just trying.
Hold
I'm
on.
trying to get on. I'm trying to show the NFL, hey, we
All
with
right.
y'all, even though y'all got a lot of stuff that y'all screwing up.
Whatever you say.
Armand Member from Missouri would be protecting Justin Fields, so maybe he won't have to run for his life.
Uh, Aaron go. Oh,
So
he.
he's gonna. But is he gonna start as a rookie? Because it's hard to start at left tackle. Start in particular as a rookie in the NFL.
AFC East. We gonna have trouble with Buffalo.
Yeah, but those 6 games, but then you got another 11 games that you're gonna have some heat coming in.
But you know that's what you draft for a purpose. You draft for your division.
Yeah, yeah. So man, and now Carolina's pick is in already.
Niggas develop.
Yeah. Is Justin Fields going to have the opportunity to truly develop in New York, or is he really just a stopgap? Because it's a 2-year
Stop.
deal. So
Stop.
do you think he's getting 2 years to prove himself, or really in essence 1 year to prove himself? And if they can move on and going in year 2, they will.
I think between this draft and next year's draft, quarterback, because we're gonna start seeing quarterbacks off the board because they're gonna go. I don't know how early, but Um, last year's draft, this year's draft, next year's draft. The Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields are about to become your tournament. Geno Smith, you know, you see how they put out. Who got drafted with Jameis?
Broke up. Say it again.
Who got drafted with Jameis?
Marcus Mariota,
See how they put him out?
but he wasn't that good either. Yeah,
What
but
so
yeah.
that's
Oh no, but you're right. They aren't giving quarterbacks time, really much time to develop these days. There used to be a time eight or eight. We're gonna give you by your third year. We want to see some. We want to see something. Now, as a rookie, they want to see signs of life. Year two, you got to okay. Yeah, we think we got something here. Year three, you need to be lights out.
you gotta be
And
like that.
yeah, I mean, you really got a year because if you're bad as a rookie, the
If
heat
we
is even
can't
on
see
you more.
promise, because Lawrence didn't know my shoe because of what he did,
Yeah,
you know, and uh the Jaden Rose and my man in Houston,
yeah, Stroud.
yeah, they're making it like it's one a year and it's not. So you better find out how to be a good journeyman, and get paid. I believe this is it for Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. You don't show prove this year.
Yeah, I mean, he got 30. It's $30 million deal, so it's not like they paid a whole lot for him. Listen to me sound like talking like I got that kind of money. 30 million ain't a lot of money,
Have
but
that
it's really, yeah, it's really back up to stopgap money. They didn't make a huge investment in him, but picking a tackle for him really helps him a lot. And they're saying Brees Hall is possibly on the trade block, so they're gonna need another.
they're gonna
Well,
need.
are they planning on picking another run? Are they planning on picking another running back?
They need.
Yeah, and Garrett Wolf, he's it's gonna be interesting to see what he does in which Carolina. They've signed got some good pieces, but I think they're kind of like Cleveland. They just can't get right.
Some people right. The Raiders right.
Yeah, the Raiders need to somehow talk Mark Davis into selling
And
because what he's
I
doing.
need to get right. I need to get right.
I
Take
think
some.
it's good for the league if the Raiders are good. It's good for the league, in spite of the history previously.
We got
Uh,
one goal. Uh, Washington. Washington being good is for the league.
yeah.
We got to get the Giants back in there.
Okay.
Good is good.
Tutorial McMillan out of Arizona is their new wide receiver. So him teaming with Xavier Leggett,
They're getting weapons. They're getting
yeah.
some weapons.
Now you just need your quarterback to come through.
Well, he won them Alabama quarterback where if I got one
Yeah.
and
I
and who the shut down corner in the NFC?
Horn. Horn is who Carolina signed. JC Horn.
So Carolina,
Yeah. So Carolina is
go do the Bucks have one.
the Bucks Is Winfield still there? I believe Winfield's still there at safety.
And then you got
At safety.
AJ Terrell. I'm gonna give him the
Mm-hmm.
props out of it.
Yeah.
Um, there may be a guy in New Orleans.
Now, New Orleans is an interesting team that might pick a quarterback because David Carr's shoulder is injured right now, and he's not a long term answer. And there are Shedeur is available, Dart because people are talking him up, he's available, and Shaw is available. So you got three quarterbacks right now that's still available if someone wants to take one in this round tonight.
What did Xavier Leggett go?
Leggett went to South Carolina.
He's South Carolina. SEC.
Yeah.
Um, he may free up. He may free up. I don't trust him. Pac-10, Pac-12.
Yeah. I think it depends on how quickly he adapts to the NFL. And how do you rate his suit game? Oh.
I, I'm I'm trying to or or the seaweed. Oh, he Hawaii or something.
uh, don't know,
Because
but I'm curious.
it's a swamp thing. I'm not.
He might be Hawaiian. It might be from Hawaii somehow. I don't know why he's got that around his neck though. That might be it. Mm. But that gives
So who's the number one?
Leggett's the number one right now.
Yeah,
Leggett is the number one as of now. But that gives him two tall receivers also.
yeah, again, tall receiver
So that gives him a larger larger
rating,
catch radius for
catch
both of
rating
them and a
to throw.
larger margin for error.
Yeah.
He can throw contested balls to both of them now. And they both have the speed to get downfield. And they got a decent running back in Chubbard.
And he yeah, decent. And he
Yeah.
McMillan is a short quarterback.
Yeah. So we're gonna see, how this works for him. He just always looks like a little kid wanting to play with his big brothers when I see him on the field.
Chuba.
No, quarterback. Is that no? Carolina's quarterback. Now,
Oh,
now I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, he always just looks like the little kid wanting to play with his big brothers, and they tell him, "No, man, you too little. Go on, go play with your friends." But hey, maybe he'll develop this year. I'm hoping that he does. I hope that he develops. I always want to see guys develop and do well, unless they play for the Cowboys or the Ravens. Then I could care less.
What?
Yes, I always want to see guys develop and do well, unless they're playing in Dallas or in Baltimore.
First of all, Seahawks. What do this?
Hey, my hatred for them goes back to when I was 5 years old.
I guess
You
that's
had to make a choice.
historic.
You had to make a choice. It was the black and gold or with some ugly stars, and I chose the right side. I think the Saints might grab old boy from Ole Miss, Jackson Dart, because the pick is in. We pick number 9. I will be curious to see what they're going to do eventually for Cam Jordan because his time is ticking. Oh, they got to tackle Kevin Banks out of Texas.
Oh, interesting.
Mm.
Remember that was the third pick. That was it was the just Shedeur pick.
Yeah, so
They
and
gave uh, is it Carr?
yeah, but Carr's shoulder is hurt. He's having surgery on his shoulder. But they do have Spencer Rattler. So if Carr isn't ready, Rattler will get his chance this year, and they can see what they've got in Rattler. And if they've got something, think they got something, they can move forward. Otherwise, they're going to be in a hunt for a quarterback next year.
Absolutely.
It looks like we're going to have a run on linemen because these teams that are paying these quarterbacks this money, they do need protection for them. So it looks like we might have a run on linemen coming up. So we shall see. Let's see what position have we not had picked yet. We haven't had a linebacker picked yet.
Oh yeah, it might be that guy in Jordan. Well, what is that calling this edge? Is he a lineman?
Yeah, edge rushers. But
He's
I'm
not.
talking some. Yeah, yeah. We haven't seen a linebacker, and we also haven't seen a defensive. We haven't seen a safety pick yet either. So
Yeah,
Walker, Javon Walker might be the first linebacker pick
Javon Walker be the first linebacker.
out of Georgia.
As
And
I
what are the odds that whenever the Eagles get their pick, that they're gonna pick a defensive player out of Georgia?
because definitely see, I don't. I'm not mad at Kevin Banks Jr. Kevin Banks, congratulations,
Yeah,
but Shedeur knew you to you know promote this, and that's not fair.
yeah. But now you're looking at teams who don't feel that drafting now who don't feel that they need a quarterback.
Yeah,
So
we're not in the only theoretical thing I can see is Jared might try to get some Sanders, but I still say that's a child.
yeah, I think Chicago would have been a good place for Genty because they're trying to get weapons all around Caleb.
Absolutely.
Now, but you still got what's the name, the running back out, what's the name out of North Carolina and out of Ohio State that could end up in Chicago.
And I
And
still
both of
feel
those,
about Dallas where they're
yeah. And Caleb Johnson is available also from Iowa. So there's quite a few. We could see a run on running backs.
right. And you know what? We have we got to be in rice and roll now to get all at it. How they gonna get at it well?
I, yeah, they definitely need more offense in Chicago. And Chicago, their history has always been, hey, we got somebody that can run the ball. It's something though. But watching some of these historic teams that have history like this, just struggling and never able to get things together. But this might be the one time that they've got an actual offense that can really put together some points. If Caleb comes around, and also if the if the offensive coordinator actually calls plays and has a system designed to bring the best out of them. So now we're looking at the Bears for selection 10 in round 1. Let's see who they pick up. And we're about to find out just right about, oh, it's coming up. Commissioner's still running his mouth. Okay, Bears, you're on the clock. Who do you have that paying tribute to Steve McMichael, Bears defensive tackle, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion. And now, here comes that selection. Yeah, so it's going to be, here we go. Will the Bears pick up someone to help Caleb out, or would they go defense? I would say try to load up on offense.
Me too.
Because you got because you expecting all of this stuff out of Caleb, so you need to give him as much help as possible. And this year you can say, hey, we're just trying to outscore people. Next year we'll add defense. You will see. Because you remember the Bears have to be gearing up. Okay, they got a tight end, Colston Loveland out of Michigan.
Hey,
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that. That kid protect Caleb.
Yeah. Give them another target and someone who can block as well.
And he's
So I don't have, yeah. So I don't have an issue with that
I
at
don't have
all.
that pick either.
And I just hope the offensive coordinator comes up with a system that's going to bring out the best in each of his offensive players and not squander things.
And you know what? Shout out to me. Shout out to me. Like Snoop. Everyone on my so far on our intro for this live has been picked. I need Tyler Warren. I need Isaiah. You know, Coach. He was a you know, somebody I like to highlight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at the pick for Chicago. That could be trouble for and Chicago is looking at Detroit with all these weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay have tight end help Rudolph in Minnesota. A whole lot of so yeah, they're looking in that area.
Yeah,
A lot of people said Tyler Warren.
and you also know the Bears not only just trying to improve, but they're trying to keep up with the Packers. And they're trying to keep up with the Packers, but they're definitely trying to catch up to Detroit and to Minnesota. So all of their picks, like you said, you draft to beat your people in your division first. They've got to have an offense that can keep up with what they have in Minnesota, with what these other teams have. Minnesota can score points. Detroit can score points. Green Bay can score points. You got to be able to score points to compete in that division.
Right.
Defense is just not going to be enough because those teams, they just score points, regardless of who it is. Now San Francisco's pick is in as well. San Francisco is really looking like they're in a rebuild mode.
Well, they're looking like we got to pay this quarterback.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do, mode?
We got to pay him all this money, so we're gonna get rid of these. We're gonna get rid of established players who are making money, and hope that we can get some young guys who can come in and pick up the slack while we pay this guy $50 or $60 million a year.
Absolutely.
But that defense is having problems now also.
Getting old, like if
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen when you have to carry your quarterback for so long. Stuff like that's going to happen.
Yeah. And really, these teams, the way the league is structured.
They about to announce it because I saw him shaking hands with the guy. Hey,
Yeah.
everyone, we'll be right back in two. Well, no. Tank, you hold the people down.
Okay.
You hold the people down, okay?
All right.
I'll be back.
Man,
And I'm not having the Shaq olive oregano moment. I just need to go grab something right quick. I'll be right back.
I thought he was gonna say we'll be back in 2-2, but we don't need Chuck Woolery trying to sue us. Yeah. So I'm wondering if Frisco has really just cashed in their chips and just trying to I don't really want to say rebuild, because usually when I think about a team rebuilding, I'm thinking about a team that's won a championship and is trying to get back to it after not being at that level for a while. They, on the other hand, have kept coming up short, and McCaffrey is getting a little long in the tooth, and he's getting a little injury prone. And I think there's going to be time for them to start looking for his heir apparent. Not in this round, but sometime in this draft or next year. You've also got to worry about your defense as it's getting older and wearing down as well. Kyle Shanahan might be on a little short rope depending on how things go this year and maybe next year, because he's supposed to be this genius, but there's no hardware to show right now, and he's lost 2 Super Bowls already. Is he really that guy, or is he just another guy who has been pretty good and is just not gonna be able to get a team over the hump?
What got Kyle Shanahan his name? Atlanta?
Yeah, being his dad's son when they were in Washington, because he worked with RG3. But yeah, but that 28-3 is really what Shanahan is known for. And then, they lost 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, and he's lost 2 Super Bowls in Frisco. Eventually, you got to produce. You got to get over the hump eventually. And if the consensus is, hey, he's that good of a guy, of a coach and a quarterback whisperer, he can do this with anybody, then you don't have to play Purdy. You just have to get another quarterback. Or you got to be able to get Purdy to bring you and Purdy get over the hump together. Because if they wind up paying Purdy $50+ million a year, and after 3 years, 5-year deal, 3 years in, they haven't won anything, people are gonna be asking, hey, it's time to blow this thing up again. Or let's move on from Purdy, or let's move on from Shanahan, because it's not, the job's not getting done. Being friends with John Lynch is what's helping keep him around, especially after last year and this year.
Well,
I think they're pretty close.
John probably wants the continuity and doesn't feel the pressure of having to get rid of him yet either.
Depending on how this year go, he might feel that pressure and hear those whispers at the end of this year if things don't go well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Edge rusher Mikael Williams out of Georgia will now be in Frisco. Okay, so they are addressing the defense.
They are addressing the age.
The edge. Yeah.
On defense. and the age and injury.
Yeah, because they got guys that are getting older, and
Yeah,
those older guys are also getting injured.
those older guys getting injured. What are you seeing
Uh,
on? What are you seeing on the recording? You seeing the background? Facebook double screen.
I, I see me, you, and I see the Facebook page.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. All right, all right, all right. I'm trying to.
Yeah, so let's see if Mikael Williams is going to pan out because he doesn't have great speed coming off the edge. He's a 4.77 guy, and you would like for your edge rusher to at least get you 4.6 or 4.5 to explode off the edge and have some closing speed. And what he doesn't have like a burst, but with Bosa on the other side, that's going to help him. He's not going to see double teams, and you can also platoon him in and out while he gets his feet wet in the NFL. So, not a bad pick at all. And you know, Georgia has been putting out players, for the past decade is really especially since Kirby's been there. So, hey, we'll see if it pans out for him. I'm not sure if okay in Dallas their pick is in
And
now.
The Dallas Cowboys pick is in. Now, if I like the pick, I'm gonna put on this hat. If I
Okay,
don't like the pick, I'm putting on this hat.
I thought you were gonna put on another team's hat.
I don't have a Tennessee cap just yet, but one hat I like over the other one. That's what that is. One cap I like over the other one.
And here comes Tyler Brooks, guard from Alabama.
Oh boy, my goodness. You know what? Let me tell you something, man. I guess the draft is bottom heavy with the splash player.
Who would you have liked to have? Who would you have liked to have seen them pick, or
A
what
splash
position?
player, wide receiver or running back.
Oh, big man, it looks light on his feet the way he's running out there. You gotta make sure he don't pull something.
But you can scientifically say that picking a offense you can scientifically say that picking an offensive lineman is good, but to be totally honest with you, I think football, and I spoke on this. Football has passed Jerry by. It's passed him by because Jerry is still under the belief. Because a lot of people would disagree with what I'm saying. Jerry Jones and his think team is still under the belief that Dallas needs to be known as the best offensive line. Who builds this offensive line? We just saw two of our offensive linemen that were possibly Hall of Famers retire.
Hmm.
What did they win? Three, actually. What did they win? What did they win?
Nothing.
Nothing.
If I guess this is his way of trying to protect his investment in Dak. Because he's saying, okay, we're gonna get an offensive lineman to help out. But we also you have to keep in mind that tonight is just one day. It's only one pick for everybody. So it's just a first round pick. We don't know what these teams are gonna do second, third, fourth round. They could bounce back strong because with some of these picks so far, you got talent in other positions that might be possibly first round talent that you pick up in the second round. So for them, a splash play might be the second or third best defensive back coming out of the draft, or it might be one of these running backs but they do need a running back.
I got a
And
question.
they also need somebody else to pair with CD.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
What does that guy do to change Dallas's position in the NFC East? Just the NFC East. From third to fourth place.
You might keep Abdul Carter from sacking Dak one or two times. It's not a sexy pick. And if Dallas was a play or two away from a possible championship, you could say, okay, I understand why you got him. But they aren't. And I guess, but they're saying, hey, there's a weakness on the offensive line, and we're going to get who we think is the best.
They knew that they knew they were gonna pick offensive linemen because Jerry is under the impression I'm gonna build from this. The theory don't work. You really Jerry Jones still has in his mind. He still has in his mind. I can build an offensive line. See, somebody told him a long time ago, and I believe it was the hyperbolized things by you, people like you, and everybody else. Oh, anybody can run behind that line. Anybody can throw behind that line. The much as you try to duplicate the lines of Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith had, who has done it? Nobody. So it has to be the guys that were back there doing it.
Yeah, it's like you said, he's stuck in, hey, we can do this. We did this once, we can do it again the same way. And it's got to be a specific type of guy. It's got to be a specific player. It's got to be a specific system, and it's got to be a coach who's committed to doing it.
Coach didn't want that pick.
Look, I'm sure he was saying, man, we need a running back. We need another receiver. We need some help on defense. And you get me a guard. Not even a tackle, but a guard.
You know what I'm going to say? And I might leave this in a short. I think this is the draft where the owners have said, we got to nip these wide receivers and these quarterbacks, and we can't even allow these running backs unless they are like, you just can't miss. You think you can't miss. We are not about to allow these guys to dictate the draft anymore. Even when we pick wide receivers in later rounds, they do good in 1 year and now they want to sit out. I think it's one of those drafts. But Jared doing that mess he do anyway. I'm still in the transfer portal.
Well, you know, the rules have changed with the portal and with the NIL. The NCAA is changing a lot of rules regarding, you know, now letting these teams that's trying to let them pay them $20.5 million per year. You know, that's the allotted salary cap, for lack of a better term, that schools can pay out to players, and changing a lot of other things. And, you know, people who say, well, players should be getting paid anyway. Okay, fine, players are getting paid. But they need to, what they need to do is say, look, if we're paying you, if we're going to pay out this kind of money, unless it's a mutual agreement, you can't transfer and jump into the portal after 1 year or after a year because hey, you didn't get as much playing time as you thought you should get, or things
Absolutely.
didn't go the way you want. They got to find some way to rein in. If they didn't do it, they getting a cap on the NIL, but also rein in all this jumping around. There are 10,000 players, 10,000 athletes in the portal right now. 10,000 players, and the thing about it is, you can jump in the portal, but you need to have somebody. You need to be going and have some school that's saying, "Hey, we want you to come here, and we're gonna give you a scholarship."
I'm in the portal. I'm in the portal because I'm coming out soon. You need to be thinking about the transfer portal like the guys on the USS Enterprise thought about when they get into the beam room. I'm gonna beam in and I'm gonna beam down, and I'm in, my molecules go, and I'm out. Y'all getting in there thinking y'all like see.
Kenneth Grant,
Can't let these
defensive
kids
tackle from
play
Michigan. Yeah, Kenneth Grant, defensive
around.
tackle from Michigan, coming to Miami.
But they about to get rid of
So
Jalen Ramsey.
yeah, he's up. They've reached a mutual understanding that hey, if we can trade him, we'll trade him.
We'll trade him.
Now that's 2 Michigan defensive tackles off the board in the first round.
And what was
I
Michigan?
just
Well, it don't matter, I guess.
Yeah, I just don't think. I just want them to get a whole NIL. I want them to get a hold of the money as far as what they're paying out, and also this portal with guys just jumping all around. And there's no okay. You got to sit out. Sometimes I didn't like it when you say, "Oh well, you transfer, so you got to sit out a year." Some of these guys who are in the portal or in the damn portal every other year, they need to sit out. Like, son, this your third school in 4 years. Really? They need to get it. It's gotten to where it's a joke, and some schools don't even really recruit. They just go into the portal, like Colorado. It's not, and I don't think it's sustainable.
That's why.
And
That's
you,
why. And when you have college kids going into the portal, that's why freshmen don't need to be looking at their stars like it's more than anything. What it ain't. It is. It's.
yeah,
That means nothing at this point. And I do believe that many kids being in the portal, that's a lot of bad parental guidance. That's a lot of hearing already. Well, your auntie kind of sick and you ain't making no money there, or your uncle, or this, that, and the third, and the roof. Kids getting that already,
yeah,
and they trying to run the money that might not be there.
yeah, and the money that they're getting from where they came from, yeah, that's good money, but it's not the kind of money that they're gonna be getting in the NFL. You getting $3 million, which is great, but
$3
they
million.
need to also it's not 3 million, it's 1.5 million, and depending on what state you're in, where you're going to school, it's less than that, and
For them
you
kids,
also have to pay taxes in
you're
every
$3 million.
yeah. Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State, going
Another one of my
to
guys off the board. Another one of my guys off the board. I like that pick.
now is Anthony Richardson gonna be able to deliver the ball to him?
See, these guys are those types of tight ends that protect their quarterback. They come from those programs that you're gonna have to create us into what we can be athletically, because where we come from, we're
Mm-hmm.
traditional tight ends. Program allowed us to be traditional, so I think they got the fundamental side of the Shannon Sharp prior to him, what's my man's name?
Winslow,
Kellen Winslow. He
you
was
know,
a different type of hybrid. I'm talking about
Gonzalez,
Cleveland Brown, Ozzie Newsome.
Ozzie Newsome.
I think fundamentally where these guys are coming from, the program that they're coming from, they've learned to be tight ends. Now you're going to have to teach me how athletically to be Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
Put me in your, I can do it, but you don't have the tight end that's coming in trying to be Travis Kelce, and now you're trying to teach him how to be Ozzie Newsome.
Right.
That's where these guys come from. They're athletic. They didn't do a lot of it.
Yeah, they coming into the league. They're getting a lot of these guys. They're getting because they know they can play.
Right.
They believe they can play, and they believe okay, there's some untapped athleticism that they have that we're going to do.
That we're going to tap
pull
in.
out of them.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a big
where
boy.
where they really are turning into your oversized wide receiver, but we're lining you up as a tight end.
You up
But you
and looking for
need to be able to block. But you still need, for certain teams, that you still need to be able to block somebody too.
Shout out to this draft, though. I will say this, man. This draft is moving like an election with the votes coming in, man. Get this stuff in.
well, moving like an election.
Yeah, it's moving. Them counts coming in. Yeah, that boy got ball skills, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, and he's a little quarterback.
So, what do you think the Falcons' biggest need is while they're still on the clock?
It's on defense. Defensive tackle. They may go offensive lineman to give Buddy more time, but an edge rusher. It's I think it's DB. I mean, I think it's defensive. Whatever it is, I think it's defensive.
Yeah, I think they need someone who can put some heat on the quarterback.
Yeah, for real.
They need that. And I think they might be looking to find Jake Matthews' replacement. Because he's getting kind of long in the tooth. And you got a young quarterback who you want him to have as long and productive career as possible. And and he's already been injured quite a bit, both knees in college. So you want to protect that as well. That's the thing about Penix. You need to protect him from all the past injuries that he's had to his knees because he's blown them out multiple times.
Past injuries.
So you don't want.
And we got to protect him from getting those injuries because he's going to have those injuries at 25 already.
Yeah, he's got rebuilt knees multiple times.
Rebuilt knees. Right. And he's an older guy. Like he's an older guy, and he's gonna be healing older. And if you got to take a year and a half off for knee injuries, he coming back.
Mm-hmm.
In an area where, man, we haven't gotten enough football out of you 26, 27. So we kind of we're we have to really be careful in how we protect him. But you also can protect him with wins. And I saw Atlanta getting a lot of shootouts, which means you're not stopping people.
Yeah.
Which means you're not getting to the quarterback. Which means like even that shootout with Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was supposed to win that game, not Penix.
Yeah. If they don't go offensive line, I think three of the Falcons picks in this draft are going to be defense.
If they don't go offensive line first?
Yeah. They don't go offensive line first. if they go offensive line first,
The
the
other two gonna
next
be
three
defense.
the
The
next
next
three
one,
picks will be
yeah.
defense.
And now remember, if Raheem is in control, it's gonna be defense.
Yeah, and it's gonna be and probably be a defensive back. And they're taking. I don't know why if they knew what they needed, why they're taking this much time with these picks with this pick because everyone else has moved quickly with that. They already know what they're getting. So this,
See? Exactly.
oh, hey, this is our guy. This is who we want. He's on the board. Get him. What are we discussing?
What
Why
are
are
we
we trying
discussing?
to? We're at 39 seconds, and we
Oh,
haven't. And the pick
somebody in
isn't
there,
in yet.
somebody in there talking about, hey man, do you know the sales we can get with a Sanders jersey Falcon?
See,
And it held them up.
it doesn't make sense to take this long if you know who. Okay, the pick is in. Okay, yeah, I think they're going. I think they go pass rusher or O line because they've got the weapons they need on offense. But I don't know if Kyle Pitts is going to be around for after this year either. If
Ooh.
Kyle Pitts doesn't take off this year, he's going to be gone.
And have they? Well, have they? Have they? Yeah, they got some receivers, but have they really replaced Calvin Ridley yet?
Yeah, for what they're trying to do, but they don't have a stud yet. They think
They don't have
London
a
is the
stud.
stud. They think London is the stud. But as of now, as far as receivers, they got twos and threes, in my opinion. They don't have a true one yet.
I wonder if they pay those people to wear those teams at the draft and say, okay, that's what you're gonna do.
And who's your team? Hey, put this on.
Yeah, put this on. Give you $500 each.
No,
This
we're
is
gonna give you a jersey. We're gonna give you this jersey. You're gonna be a seat filler.
right. I mean, I'm saying I think they're actors that's not even rooting for the team.
Mm.
We're almost halfway through with the 2025 NFL draft.
Still only one quarterback pick,
There's only one quarterback pick,
one running back pick,
and that quarterback was picked
one wide receiver.
right. And that quarterback was picked first. So keep that in mind. Like it's not even like we heard him. We heard him a long time ago.
He already on his way to Tennessee. Lalon Walker, linebacker from Georgia, Jalon Walker.
There it is. There it
Yeah,
is.
and when we asked me what linebacker I thought would be going first, I said I think
That
it'd
was
be
him.
him.
And he a hometown. It's kind of a hometown pick.
Now, this is what I'm shocked about. The Falcons actually picked a player from the University of Georgia, and they did it in the first round. The Falcons never pick anybody from Georgia. And it's always been talked about, particularly amongst fans. Man, we got all these boys in the backyard. Why everybody else come and get them, and why don't the Falcons? Why don't the Falcons ever pick up one? Now they finally done it for the first time. Now let's
Do you
see if
think?
it
Do you think
pans
they
out.
had another? Do you think they had another? They had another idea in mind, and then someone said, "Hey, man, y'all want the Eagles to get him?"
Hey, it's possible. It looks like it was
And it
discussion
held
going
up. And it
on.
held up the situation.
It's possible because it looks like there was a discussion going on to make sure, hey, who we gonna get? Who we gonna get? Instead of just getting them. But but finally to see the Falcons
Pick
pick a player from Georgia
Georgia in the first round.
Yeah. Period. Because they usually never pick them.
Oh
Period.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
period. Right.
Yeah. And because I was gonna ask you earlier, I was gonna say, hey, what are the odds that the Falcons don't pick anybody from Georgia again this year?
And then they just kind of messed up that question. Now I will say
Yeah.
this. The um the we were right as far as Raheem going defense. If he
Yeah.
had control of that pick, he might have been arguing for his pick. He might have
But
been arguing.
that's a good all around linebacker that they picked. And he should help in a few areas.
He should help in a few
Runs
areas.
Yeah, run support, send them after the quarterback, pass coverage.
The
Because
only thing, the only thing we can hope for with this young man is stay out of the club.
Yeah.
That is why Atlanta is what it is in all sports.
Yeah.
I don't even see
Stay
Raheem.
out of Magic City.
I don't even see Raheem. Stay out of Magic City.
Stay out of strokers.
Stay out of pinups. Stay out of Greenbrier
Yeah.
Mall. Stay out of Lennox. Stay out of Phipps. Stay out of Buckhead. Hang out in Flowery Branch. Period.
Yeah.
During the season.
Yeah. Ask Michael Penix, hey, what'd you do to stay out of trouble as a rookie? I
That-
need to do that.
exactly. I need to do that. And then but I will say, Atlanta doesn't have players in the news for getting in trouble. But they're just not focused. And maybe they don't get in
Yeah.
trouble because they done partied all night and they wake up
Wherever they at.
at 4:00.
Oh, pick
Because
it then the
I truly don't
Cardinals.
believe I truly don't believe Atlanta Falcons have the best off-season workout program.
Yeah.
I think them boys just we young, we can do this, and they go play young until it wear off. But
And then
then
you
you
don't see them getting that second deal.
you don't see them getting the second deal. Like you can tell. You can tell. We are halfway through the 2025 the 2025 NFL draft. Just so you know, tagging in, everybody join in, interact, talk to us.
Now let's see. Would the Cardinals try to get another weapon for Kyler Murray?
Oh, he's another one. I think this is it.
Yeah. He
I think they
I
want him a
mean,
quarterback. I'm not saying they're going to pick one this year, but I
yeah.
think he's yeah.
Yeah, he got a very short leash.
You riding that wave of them Texas State championships and beating the Cowboys. That's what got you paid, and it's just the truth.
And I just think that he got to the NFL using the same approach that he's used in high school and college. Hey, well, he's better than everybody else, so he didn't have to do a whole lot. And I think
I ain't
that's the
have to do a
same
whole
work
lot.
ethic that he has.
And then he got out there to Arizona, and they don't like a lot of people overlook Arizona.
Walter
Being one of
Nolan,
those
defensive tackle out of Ole Miss.
okay. A lot of people don't look at the Cardinals as being one of those Cleveland Raiders can't get right teams either. But because no one expects them anyway.
Yeah.
They got low expectations of them, man.
Yeah, they're seat filler.
Seat filler. They made it to the Super Bowl that one time, but before that, when they were good, they were in the NFC East. Stump Mitchell era.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that hey, we got 30, we gotta have an even number of teams in the league.
Exactly. They might well just put
Same,
Team 32 on their helmet.
yeah, Cardinals. That's what y'all are doing. You, and they are a very old franchise. I mean,
Very
they go back to being the Chicago Cardinals. I mean,
exactly.
they've been
They are
around
prior
for
to the
quite
Eagles.
for
Their
years.
whole
Yeah.
their whole makeup is what the Eagles use. Man, they got a big family, but that was a big old boy in the back behind him.
Now Cincinnati. Now I believe Cincinnati needs to go defense because their defense was horrific last year. But I
They need
can
to go
I can
defense the
see
whole
them.
draft.
Yeah. But I would not be surprised with all these running backs on the available if they didn't go running back. And because if the
No,
offense, because they love to score points, their offense wasn't the problem last year. And if you add a franchise type back to their offense, you're talking about a
wrong.
team that's scoring.
No. You go. You talking
Yeah,
about a team that's scoring?
yeah.
No. Their offense was a problem. I believe that an offense that can score with another offense but lose is a problem.
They had no ball control. They couldn't eat the clock because they didn't have a real running game.
There you go.
Because the guy that they were using, I can't remember his name now, but the guy they were using wasn't that he was one of those lower round picks who you got okay, we use him, but he's not going to get us anywhere. And Trey Henderson they still hadn't signed him yet.
That's a bunch of actors, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
Now they might be trying to find a defensive end if they've already said Henderson, yeah, you can go and look for a trade, and we'll just draft your replacement. That could be
they
what
need
they're going after.
Henderson needed a corner or some help.
Yeah, yeah.
And and
And
and, and I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but I think white guys are like the most cerebral defensive players ever made. The problem with that ability and thinking ability is you're always in on the tackle, which means your body getting broke up faster than everybody else.
that's an interesting theory.
Man,
Yeah, he's he didn't hit his stride until he came to Cincinnati also because he wasn't.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But when he
Then
hit
again,
it,
if you're the only guy on the team capable of making those plays,
you get beat up faster
you
than
know,
everybody else. Of
yeah,
course you injured.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
I
and
think
y'all,
I think Luke Kuechly, J.J. Watt, they probably had 2 or 3 more years in them, but they made too many tackles. They were always on the tackle. Body, man. Come on, man.
yeah. So you're saying they need more help as well. They need more help. So you really don't want
Yo,
certain positions. You really don't want them to be in on that many plays
my main
because
man out of Dallas, linebacker,
Van der Rosch
Vander
or
Esch.
Sean Lee.
Him too. Rolando Smith can't
Mc,
stop smoking the weed or whatever was going on with him, and I think he was the one with Vander Esch.
McLean, yeah.
Yeah, McLean, and then we had another athletic linebacker with Sean Lee. They can't stay in the game, which means them boys they know the play before the play happens. So I'm
Yeah.
calling the play to your side. I'm telling you what to do. Use your athleticism gonna make the tackle. If you're not available, I know what to do, so I'm gonna go in there by instinct and make the
Yeah.
tackle. Body gone, concussion, and then mess up their opportunity to be a defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Now you see, what they're doing, they keep going back showing Shedeur. It's kind of put it in the thing where the same way it was going with Aaron Rodgers years ago. Okay, he's expected to go early. He's top 1 or 2 quarterback, and he's falling. But like I said earlier, him falling is not hurting him as far as
It's
career
not
wise
hurting.
because he's fallen to a better team.
I got
Now
a
people are
question.
gonna talk about his money, but no, he'll still get his money. It's just not as much right now.
Marketability wise, Shedeur Sanders in Tampa.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
I don't think they'll do it either, but I'm just saying.
It it's close enough to Tallahassee that they could do something.
What I'm saying is Tallahassee.
Wait, no, they're on the other side. Because he might do better in Jacksonville if they were to actually, if a
Well, yeah,
Floridian
yeah, yeah,
team was
yeah.
to get him.
Jacksonville closer to Tallahassee, but
Yeah,
and actually, um, Prime could be making some phone calls and say, "Hey, Tampa, pick up my boy, so I can go see both my boys."
Shamar Stewart, defensive end, told you
Yep.
they just picked Henderson.
Yeah.
Henderson's edge right. Yep.
Oh, these actors for real. They don't even know how to. Yeah, yeah. I don't.
Yeah, like Trey, you can go ahead and leave. We got your replacement.
Right. Trey has permission to seek trade. Jalen Ramsey has permission to seek a trade.
But and the thing about both of those guys, they're also 30 and 31. They're also 30. So
They're also 30. Right.
yeah. So you're saying, okay, you're getting closer to the end of the road. But it's funny, 30. There was a time when 30 wasn't looked at as being that old because guys were playing to their 35 and 36.
Well,
Now a guy gets to 28 and you say, man, he getting close to the end of, and it's like your career really, unless you're a star player, your career seems to be getting shorter in the NFL. Not.
suit check right quick. My man is wearing a whole full pool table.
Hey man, that's that satin.
Satin what? Green paint? What the heck?
Yeah, he have some real green in a couple of weeks.
Probably got some in his pocket now. He probably NIL boy.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he got on big chains, hair done. I mean, it's a possibility it's borrowed, but ooh, nah. He ain't even happy. He
yeah,
happy he got picked. He's not happy going to Cincinnati though.
yeah. But hey, that's the thing. You can be first. You be happy about getting picked.
And picked.
Then after it sets in where you're going, you might be like, oh, okay. But hey, he's gonna have plenty of opportunity to be the man in Cincy because it's not
Right.
like they got any studs on defense
It's not like they
other
got
than
studs on
Hendrickson.
defense.
And
Right.
Hendrickson will be gone. Now if they sign Hendrickson, Henderson can take him under his wing and help him learn the ropes,
Right.
which really should be what you would want. And you have them both on each end.
He kind of he look like he wreaking havoc now. I'll give him that much.
You will
I
see.
I guess the Dallas pick is sexy because he's from Alabama.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see who's gonna pick Hampton up. Now, if he keeps falling, we could go first round. We meaning Pittsburgh go first round and pick up Hampton, the running back,
Right. Pick up
because
running back.
we need a running back because Jalen Warren is not the answer.
Now I
That's
will
why
say
we
this.
signed him to a 1 year deal.
I'm almost thinking about handling my business early tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
and going live again for the second round because it looked like the second round is what's going to be sexy.
It's gonna be a lot of folks, a lot of, like I said earlier,
Second
it
round,
looks like it's gonna be a lot of first round talent available in rounds 2
in
and
round
3.
2 and 3, yeah, or what was billed as first round
Yeah,
talent. So
yeah,
so like these look like I said, my theory on where I stood with what they were doing, and my theory on um what I want to say, picking for need. They really are,
yeah.
you know. And you can
Now,
always
what's your
and I hate that about Jerry again. You can always live on the excuse, like no one's ever going to say you don't need an offensive lineman. No one's ever going to say that.
hmm
You're never going to ever believe that.
Now your theory on drafting players? Do you believe in drafting for need or best player available? Me personally, I believe in drafting for need because the best player available might not fill a need for me. Even though you say, well, he's the best player. Yeah, but I already got somebody at this position who's great for us.
That's why I thought about that. That's why I thought about
Mm-hmm.
that because um
Ray Zabel out of North Dakota State.
I'm not going to remember. I think we got Dez Bryant as best player available.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a need. We needed a safety. Bad. We needed a safety in a corner. Bad. And I'm not saying we didn't need a wide receiver. But we needed a safety in a corner bad. So sometimes you draft for best player available if they fall in your lap. That's why I kind of looked at that a little bit like, you know, um,
Yeah.
like, and I hate going back so far, but do you think Randy Moss was needed in Minnesota when he dropped that far and fell in their lap?
I don't think they never thought that he was gonna be
And
available, and they said, "Hey, man, you got to grab him." I don't even think he was on their board
he
because
wasn't even on their board.
yeah, yeah,
That was the
and
best
then,
player available. Are you
yeah, and
crazy? Not yeah.
yeah. But me personally, like I said, general, generally, and there are also exceptions to the rule, like Moss will be, but I'm going with need because
Modern day,
I,
modern day era. Michael Penix Jr. wasn't a need until later in the season.
yeah, but I think he was a need because they knew Kirk Cousins wasn't gonna be done on 4 years.
But they had the backup that did all right, and he was young enough for the future.
Yeah, but he wasn't gonna do it be any good either. But also, I think
But
he
did they need him?
some people wind up being best available and a need
And a
at the
need at
same
the same
time. Yeah, because they knew Kirk Cousins wasn't the future.
time.
And
Anyone, yeah. But I'm
at
saying
his
anyone
age, he
on
could
the
hit the
interior
ball
line,
at any time.
anyone on the interior line, is the psychology of football is going to always make you think that's a need. You don't need
hmm
that out here wasting. Tony Romo, you two, y'all wasted offensive tackles, wasted their careers, man. And they were, and y'all made it seem like they were needs.
And when they pan out, when the player pans out, then you say, okay, that was a good pick. I get it now. But for me, I need this player, this position filled. Unless a great player who I consider can't miss becomes available, I'm going to get the position that I need.
In this new
A
era,
great
in this new era, Patrick Mahomes having a bad game because of offensive lineman is the only justifiable reason to pick an offensive lineman in the first round unless he's just super duper off the charts. And I'm saying that because you're going to say to yourself, "Oh, well, if he had protection, this is what he can do." And if Patrick Mahomes be making it to the Super Bowl with makeshift lines, so he's an exception, and you have to get all the way to the conference championship games and the Super Bowls to see. Yeah, man, he needed an offensive line. All right, cool. So that makes you say that the other guys who are not Patrick Mahomes definitely need offensive linemen. But the truth of the matter is, when you stopped jamming the quarterback and wide receivers had freer reign to move down the field and cornerbacks couldn't touch them the way they could touch them, that means it turned into speed. That means it turned into a track meet. That means that your linemen, your offensive linemen, just by virtue of distance and travel and time you need to be releasing the ball and the time you're getting to release the ball because the DBs just can't do it. And also the linebackers and the safeties can't set up to hit you no more and destroy you. Why is blocking that important? I'm not saying it's unimportant, but it's not first round. It's not first round important like that. You should be saying the same thing. Oh, I can get a wide receiver that runs a 4.2 with decent hands and some size in the second and third round. Same thing with a lineman. Cornerback that you know is going to play the nickel and not start, I get it. Edge rusher, linebacker.
I think the thing with linemen getting them in the first round is when you have a franchise quarterback who's been taking a pounding, and you got to have him protected. That's when you say, okay, we got to get
Trying to protect that for 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah, you got to get one. Because I always say, when you have a franchise quarterback and you pay him, my thing is, why would you be parking a Bentley under a tree instead of in the garage? Meaning, why wouldn't you get him some protection?
Oh,
but you need that. But he does need to be the best player. He does need to be a real need.
he does need to be
somebody who's good. Yeah.
What was it? Clausen? And I'm not saying he was good, but Carolina didn't need Cam Newton.
Oh, they needed somebody on the center. They needed somebody on the center. Jimmy. There's a reason why Jimmy Clausen. There's a reason why Jimmy Clausen's career stats is like 5 of 13 for 30 yards
I'm not saying Cam wasn't the man. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying Jimmy Clausen was a Josh Rosen situation.
Yeah, but he stunk the year before as a starter. They knew we not going anywhere with this bomb.
Who that with Cam? We knew Cam was going number one. Like it was so stupid or hard not to pick Cam.
Yeah.
But somebody else was
okay. Finally, Emeka Egbuku, the receiver from Ohio State, going to. There you have the heir apparent to Mike Evans, and also to his running mate. You got somebody there who you can plug and play.
Well, you know what?
Godwin's replacement.
CJ Godwin.
So you got, and he's already a finished product.
Oh, and they got Bucket Irvin, young. They already got two young linemen. And they actually got a young wide receiver core. They got two young boys kind of tight.
Yeah. So so that's a good pick for them. And I'm sure Baker Mayfield is ecstatic.
The only thing, go ahead.
Because Mike Evans at his age can hit the wall
at any time.
Tomorrow. He can hit the wall tomorrow. Godwin is always is hurt a lot.
And that's because he got hurt that one time, and now you seeing it,
Yeah.
Something he never heals all the way. So yeah, they're getting their young receiver core. Now the only thing about and I'm gonna say this, and if Buck fans are watching, we just gonna keep it 1,000 with you. Ohio State wide receivers don't do well in Tampa.
I think this guy will. Ohio State has become wide receiver you.
They just don't do well in Tampa. Joey Galloway, trash, garbage.
He was older when he got to Tampa,
David
to be fair
Boston,
to him.
garbage.
Boston was a one-hit wonder.
Can we hold
But
on? Do we want to go to Big Ten? Do we want to go Big Ten wide receivers in Tampa?
you'd be better off doing Big Ten because Boston
Garbage.
came after he'd been around. And Galloway was old when he got to Tampa.
Hold on. Last time Bucks got a wide receiver in the first round, Mike.
Mike Evans.
So they might be doing with the
I mean, and really, to be honest, it's not like the Bucks have had a plethora of good wide receivers.
and being in Tampa, you can become a quiet um you can become a quiet superstar.
Because you think about who before Mike Evans.
Chris Godwin with Penn State, so that's still Big Ten, but he getting hurt.
Excuse me. Yeah, and because before that, who was it? Joe Jaravicious was a decent receiver for them before Mike Evans.
Yeah,
I mean,
Joe
but it's
Judge.
not like they got a Jaravich and Keenan McCardell. He was over the hill when he got to Tampa.
Keyshawn wasn't drafted there.
Yeah, yeah. Keyshawn was
The draft was
the one.
Jacquez,
Yeah,
Fidel. We were drafting out of Florida.
yeah. So, like I said, it's not like they've got a great history of wide receivers.
And then Mika, he a 6 foot guy. That ain't that. I don't know. I don't know about that being Mike replacement. 6'5", different.
Yeah, but he got speed. He can fly, and he can still make the contested catches.
Was he the best wide receiver? Well, he first round, but was he the
Yeah.
best wide receiver at
Well,
Ohio State this year?
yeah, Ohio State was because remember the other kid, he's not eligible this year. The best receiver they had is will probably come out next year. I can't
That's
remember
what I'm
the
saying.
kid's name now.
Was he the best one on the field?
Second best,
So he let a
but
little pressure. He let a pressure take his spot.
Yeah, okay, love basketball. No, but
Hey, the only reason we picked you is because such and such decided to go to Alabama.
Yeah, but this dude is legit, and Ohio State stays loaded anyway.
Ohio State stay loaded. Shout out to Emeka Ogle, whatever his name is, going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hey,
we see you're not happy with either of your team's picks.
Who?
Dallas or Tampa.
Right. My side chick, man. I don't know, man. Tennessee looking real hot right now, man. Golly, man. let me look up some Nashville. What's Tennessee's schedule?
The Broncos pick is in. I can't stand Sean Payton, especially after the way he treated Wilson. But he looked like he's putting together a competent program.
Right. Well, you got to get that entitlement up out your program too, though.
Yeah. but nobody saw it. He'll say he did, but nobody saw Bo Nix coming around the way he did last year. Because I definitely didn't.
Bo Nix could be in the wind though. I'm still not a true believer.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to show me something this year, but he came around last year, and I wasn't expecting that.
But if he does do anything, Sean Payton could look at, he could be a QB whisperer because he creates some people. He creates some people. You know, he didn't he give Drew Brees his life back?
Yeah, he did, but San Diego should never let him go in the first place. And then if they had listened to Nick Saban, the Dolphins would have had him. That doesn't mean he would have turned out. That doesn't mean he would have turned out that way. But when Saban's like, hey, when they wouldn't sign Breeze in spite of him wanting Breeze, he knew it wasn't gonna work.
And that's the thing too. Another, going back to your need, getting Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
And you had Breeze, so it's sometimes Well,
yeah, but remember Breeze was hurt though. Remember Breeze's shoulder was messed up.
Yeah, his shoulder was messed up.
Okay, we got a cornerback on again, Barron. Okay, that was a good job. Now he should pair well with Surtain on the other side.
Oh my goodness!
This gives them potentially two good coverage corners.
And let's not act as if this pick was not, we're trying to compete in the AFC West, but we got these jokers who just keep manufacturing receivers over here with their god of a quarterback. That was an AFC West. We need to stop Kansas City Chiefs pick.
Yeah. And you got Surtain locked down for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And now if this guy if Barron develops, you got him for 4 years before you have to pick up his 5th year option. So you got 5 years of two lockdown corners that you should be able to say, okay, we don't need to worry about what's going on outside. We can pin our ears back and come after the quarterback because these guys are going to take care of whoever it is they're in front of.
I had him on the highlight list too, but I might have put down the wrong name.
Yeah. Barron is a good corner. But you see, and they're putting together a very good defense. And like you said, it's geared towards stopping what they do in KC, and also what they're gonna do in that division as well. Because Harbaugh, because as much as Harbaugh wants to run the ball, he's got Herbert, and he's gonna want Herbert to put the ball in there, especially. And the owner's gonna want Herbert.
Exactly.
Yeah, the owner's gonna want Herbert to put the ball in there because he's paying him $200-some million.
All right.
Okay.
Y'all pick up next.
Yep.
Y'all think? Hey, y'all need a quarterback.
This might be it.
Y'all need a quarterback, man.
I didn't think Sanders would fall this far. I really and truly didn't.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, man. Here's the thing about picking up Sanders. I'm if they pick him up, that's cool. But he might be another coach's quarterback.
I think that with him, if they do pick Sanders, that gives Tomlin time to get things developed and everything. But we don't need. But if we do get him, we don't need Dion sticking his damn nose in trying to see what's going on. You stay over in Boulder and do what
He's
you
not.
need to do there.
He's not. He's not.
But I'll say this: if we get Shedeur, hey, I'm
Hey,
not mad at it.
and I'm telling you this too. If you get Shedeur, you also have, if Mike Tomlin keep 9-7, and hey, we got a coach over here in Colorado, man.
Yeah, we have to deal with that kind of mess. And oh yeah, I can come coach my son in the NFL, and I can probably get Shiloh off the scrap heap.
Exactly.
Derek Harmon, defensive tackle from Oregon.
I can see that because you said they needed to get Hayward a replacement.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all because we definitely need because you saw what Henry did against did
Exactly.
to us and like dang man, he just running like it's 7-on-7 drills. But
So
unless we
if quick question, and I should put this in the post. Shedeur was just celebrating something though. Oh,
I think they thought that was gonna be it. I think they thought, okay, yo, good. We had a good visit with Pittsburgh. I think this is gonna be it. I think they're gonna get you.
do you do? So do the people at this party put back on the same clothes? For tomorrow, do everybody just spend
Man,
the
I
night?
ain't messing with you. I ain't messing with
I'm
you.
asking. I'm just asking, man.
No, I
Ain't
don't
nothing
think they
against
put on the
Shedeur. I'm
same
just
clothes.
saying, you know.
And to be honest, it's not over yet. But Shedeur, if like we said before, if this was a draft, if he was coming out in another draft, he would be a second round pick anyway.
You know what? I believe the psychology was seeing him practicing with Cam, who was
Mm-hmm.
his first pick overall. You don't believe that there was that much of a gap. I mean, second round, first round QBs and all these QBs, it, eventually it might not be that much of a gap. But you don't think that there's
Yeah,
that much of a gap
right.
between the two.
Yeah. Because Cam in another year, Cam would be overdrafted as a number one overall pick. In another year, Shedeur, if he'd gone in the top 5 or top 10, would have been overdrafted.
Overdrafted.
But I just think that because they were talking about the Sanders camp and all this, and I said, I don't think that was good for talking for him as far as them talking about the Sanders camp, what they would like and what they would want. No,
Right.
it shouldn't be a Sanders camp. It should be we talk to Shedeur, and this is what because your dad has a job. He's a head coach in Colorado. He doesn't need to be all in your business and this that, and the other. I don't think that he needed to have been doing a whole lot of talking about what we want and what with this, that, and the other anyway.
Well, people took that out of context because he was absolutely right. He knows where his son, what franchises are not good for his son. He
Yeah,
was
but
like
I
that. He
think
was like
that's
that about himself.
yeah, I think it would. I think those are things that should have been said behind closed doors instead of just out there like that. Because
And
it makes it.
I still
it
believe that Arch Manning didn't even say that. Arch Manning stood in front of that dart
mm,
for Arch. I mean for Eli. I think
Eli,
Eli. I think Eli was the one who made that suggestion.
mm,
Why we acting like Indianapolis was that good of a franchise when Peyton went?
yeah,
You know? but everybody knew what San Diego was, and
and they knew about the management. That was the main thing. Yeah.
yeah. Everybody knew when Bobby Beathard left and all that other stuff, or was it still there? Whatever the situation was, everybody knew about it. So that kid expressed himself, and I think his dad got out in front of that and made it seem like he was the one. I don't even think their family is like that. And so it became this, oh, the man has been doing that for years. Man, they have been doing that for years. That's the first generation that happened.
Yeah, and also when you look at what Arch Manning has done and not done as far as his playing time and complaining and I'm leaving and this, that, and other,
Thank you.
he hadn't done anything.
Yeah,
He's
Arch,
just,
young Arch don't even do
hey,
that. Like they're
yeah,
not like that. I think Eli said something and it got a buzz. What? And his dad got out in front of that for him. Son, we don't do
yeah,
that.
yeah, because it's always been said from especially Peyton. It's like certain things or whatever. The dad like, no, we don't do that.
We don't do that.
You carry yourself a certain way.
Certain way. Like I said, I think Eli kind of suggested something and it got out and hit
I
and
don't
now
want to go to San Diego.
yeah,
Yeah, like I don't want to go to San Diego.
it's turned into Arch did this for his son. Nah, I don't think that.
Yeah, I can see that as far as you saying that because when Peyton went to Tennessee and the coach would bring Archie in to look at film and go over stuff to try to get his input, he said Archie, in a few minutes, he turned around and looked and Archie Manning's in there in the film room sleep. He wasn't paying attention to none of that. He was, hey, that's my son. I'm here to watch him play. And he didn't get any input from him about, hey, what are some things you think we can do and this, that, and the other.
Remember, Peyton went to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Eli said, I'm gonna do. I don't know if they had a conversation behind closed door, but it didn't even seem like Eli was forced to go to Ole Miss. He was
Right.
just like, I believe Ole Miss pitched Eli hard, like we don't want to miss the second.
Yeah.
Because the first one was good, so we did miss.
Right.
We did miss. It was like, okay, we get him. If we don't, we don't. But we missed. We don't want to miss the second one. You know?
Speaking of Mannings, it's a slight segue. Quinn Ewers, is he going to get picked in the third or the fourth round? Or is he going to go undrafted or is he going on Saturday?
What's crazy is for him not to be even mentioned in
You haven't heard anything about him.
quarterbacks, that shows you how humble Arch Manning is. The young Arch Manning is.
Mm-hmm.
Because this guy was a good college quarterback, and I'm not going to take that away from him. But we've looked at him and saw fundamentally he's not even Shedeur, who hasn't even got picked.
Yeah.
So he's not even Jackson Dart. So for Arch to be wearing that name and go in and then show you what he could be and then fall back, and then now the NFL draft has shown you what Quinn Ewers really was. So to answer your question, I think he's a good Saturday Houston.
Hmm.
You know, we're going to put us a solid guy behind Stroud.
So is he Major Applewhite?
No, I think
Remember
he's a better than
Applewhite?
White. I think
Okay.
he Chris Sims.
Chris Sims. Mm-hmm.
I think he Chris Sims. I think he's a little better than Applewhite, but he definitely Chris Sims.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, I wasn't expecting. I'm not. I never looked at him as a first or second round pick, but you didn't hear anything about his name. The only last time I heard anything about Quentin Ewers was at the combine.
That's it. And let's get one thing straight. Where's Quentin Ewers from?
He's from Texas.
There you go. See, I want everybody listening to this to know this right now, and I might post this. And it's probably Jerry Jones' problem. Texas hyperbolizes. It's not to say that big state doesn't have athletes. I'm not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
But Texas is so big on their football, and they're so big on their track, and so big on their athleticism, to the point where you tend to hyperbolize the guys in your state so much
Mm-hmm.
till you don't really pay attention to the mediocrity that they really are when you put them around everybody else.
Okay, for Omarion Hampton from North Carolina, running back, going to San Diego. I mean, going to Los Angeles, the Chargers. They
I
need to move back to San Diego.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. I like that. I like that.
So
Herbert needs. I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's gonna be that guy. But Herbert needs a real running back back there. He
now,
does.
how does Najee feel about this? You know, it's only a 1 year deal that he signed, but is he like, man, I thought this was going to be my chance to show, improve, and or is it Harbaugh saying, look, it's competition, best man win, or hey, I want to back by committee, I want to run it back by committee.
I'm running back by committee because let me tell you, has Najee shown you he's the bell horse?
He's a bell cow back,
Bell car, I'm
but he's
sorry.
not productive. You talking about 100 yards, 600 yard games in 4 full seasons because he never missed a game. But he only had 600 yard games.
600-yard
That's
game. You
yeah, that's not.
going to the AFC, and then the Raiders and now the Chargers in that AFC West have said, okay, we're going to let Denver be pass happy. We're going to let Kansas City be pass happy. We're about to keep the ball out your hands.
Yeah.
Ball control. Oh, y'all got them DBs, huh? All right. We're going to run to their side. Put our head down. A little bit of thunder, and lightning. A little bit. I like what Harbaugh going. A little bit of thunder and lightning.
So now they got their division has now drafted 2 running backs in the first round.
Exactly.
The Chargers and the Raiders.
And the Raiders.
And they both drafted the top 2 running backs.
And they drafted that division drafted the top 2 running backs on the board at that. I wanted him.
Yeah, he would have been a good pickup.
I wanted him.
I'm thinking that y'all might, if y'all go running back, maybe 3rd round, you might get the kid from Kansas State.
Well, yeah, and then I think too, it's the 2025 draft and the 2026 draft, because unless that guy, for Hokey Boy, that we just picked up, 25 years old from the Patriots,
Yeah.
can look like he taking Dak out of his spot. We go for Arch Manning next year.
Yeah, you have to finish badly to get him, real bad.
Well, I mean, like depending upon how this draft
or
goes,
trade up. Yeah.
we're not caring because Arch would have. You know what? It's some good quarterbacks coming out next year. Arch probably gonna be the pinnacle,
Mm-hmm.
but it's some good. It's some boys coming out
It's
next year.
top. Someone's coming out.
It's
Yeah.
some top. It's
And
better
there,
than this
there
class.
and there's yeah, and there's gonna be one or two who emerge out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. And what I'm saying is Jerry has already, if he picks a quarterback next year to be even with the guy they got now, Jerry at 25 years old, he will have two young pillars at offensive linemen for a 26-year-old quarterback or a 22-year-old quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Getting rid of a 30-plus-year-old quarterback.
Yeah.
So I understand the mathematics. I still don't like the pick, but I understand the mathematics.
Packers on the clock, 2:49 and counting.
Who you think the Packers?
I'm
The Packers need a running back.
No, they got Jones. Remember,
You mean
not what Jones. They got
out of Alabama that was with Vegas?
that was with the Raiders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
What's that
what is
boy
his
name?
name?
I know his name.
I can't remember his name now. I see his face and everything,
Yeah.
but I want to know. I tell you, are we gonna see a third running back picked in this first round? And I'm thinking about Scatterboo. Is he gonna get selected in this round?
You think he a first round player?
I think somebody might take him late before
Josh
we're
Jacobs.
gonna pick number 20. Yeah, Josh Jacobs.
Josh
Yeah,
Jacobs.
we'd pick. He what?
What year is he in? Fifth?
Fifth. This will be his 6th year. This will be his 6th year.
They might go wide receiver, man.
Yeah, to break tradition and get one. I think Scatterboo,
Yeah, Javon Walker was the
Scatterbo.
last.
Yeah, I think Scatterbo will either go this round or he'll go the second round.
Even the guys in the war room wearing cheap suits. They haven't. This has not been a good suit. Well, I guess they're like this Green Bay, man. I look good. I got the city behind me.
Okay, Jeezy. Got the whole city
I
behind.
got the whole city behind. Shout out to my boy Tank. You know, and what I haven't said in this whole time is make sure you comment, like, subscribe, share. And with this being live, we are definitely going to definitely always make sure our sponsors are heard from. Light Snack, Magic City Wings, most definitely.
What they say about the Magic City Wings? Do what?
Don't forget to lick the sauce. You know, but hey, and matter of fact, let me speaking of Magic City, I don't want to take no business away from anybody, but we're gonna have to take a month off Magic City for the 40 plus, 50 plus year old men because we already know y'all be in there during the 3 to 11 shift, and we don't need y'all in there messing with them 19-year-old girl. I'm gonna need y'all to go. I'm gonna need y'all to go to the Elks. You know, go to the Elks, run down there to Bolts, Bigelow's. You know, just take about 3 weeks. Mess with some women your age. Let this Shannon thing die down. Cause y'all be letting them young girls have their claws in you, man. Them young girls be having their claws in you. Y'all don't even know what they be saying.
Just falling for a hook, line, and sinker.
They're falling for a hook, line, and $10 million.
Mark Murphy, he's stepping down this year.
He's stepping
He's
down.
retiring. Well, they got the green lit up, don't they?
They got the green lit up.
Yeah, I want to see where Scatterboo's gonna go. Scatterbo, where he's gonna go and how he does.
I wouldn't mind him going back around to San Diego or Las Vegas.
I would like him in Pittsburgh, to be honest.
The pounding. You know, yeah, a good blue collar guy, seemingly.
It will work. I think it'll work well.
I think the psychology of him is going in the second or third round, so he can come out with that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. And I like the fact that he runs angry.
Bucks like that. The Bucks like that type of guy. That's marketable for him.
Man, if he ends up in Tampa, all you're gonna hear is All-Star 2.0.
And they're gonna bring back the A Train. They're gonna have something, scatter something. They're gonna ask them to wear number 40, even though they probably retired it maybe. But you know they're gonna do that.
They would definitely do that. Or if Matthew Golden, they got a receiver. Matthew Golden from Texas.
Hey, God! Oh, Jerry! And
yeah,
I knew,
so they
I knew this was about. I said Green Bay, they might take receiver. They hadn't done it in a while in the first round.
And you know, Aaron Rodgers is probably saying, "Why didn't we do this?
Why didn't we do this?" And it's crazy. They got some dogs. They got some young go-getters. But the problem with that is they did.
You like his suit? You like his suit?
Oh, Golden.
Yeah.
All right, Golden. Okay, you bringing it back. You bringing it back to the 2010 era. You know. Oh, he got the pants too.
Mm-hmm.
No. His suit remind me of what my man name is with the Temptation?
Otis.
No,
David Ruffin.
He remind me of something David Ruffin partner who's on the dust with him real bad was winning.
Oh, Kendricks.
Yeah, he remind me of Kendricks. Yeah, that's Kendricks.
The Kendricks.
No. The homeboy that was always with him. But he on the side there over there.
He had the first name.
Yeah. Why you hanging with these type of people? Him.
Yeah. So that shows now that they're trying to do something to add some explosion to their passing game.
Yeah.
Like I said, they got some.
Detroit got them thinking like that.
Yeah, and also because they know one of the young ones they already got won't be there in another year too.
Yeah, but that's some large shoes to fill, homeboy.
Yeah.
Cause the guys you going in the room with didn't get picked that high.
Yeah. He's gonna have to earn his spot. He would definitely have to earn his spot.
Like you mean it's still some 6'4", 6'5" receivers on the board though. I don't know if they're on the board at 24. Woo. It's about to start getting ugly. Still, everybody that's watching, audience, one quarterback still taken in the first round. And we got how many picks to go?
And we got 9 to go. And the thing is, that any of these 9 need a quarterback. Houston doesn't need one.
If you
KC,
drafting in the bottom 10, you
you
did pretty
don't need a
well.
quarterback. Philly doesn't need one. Houston doesn't need one. KC doesn't need one.
Oh God.
Uh,
Miami. Well, Miami just picked
Miami. Yep. Yeah, not Miami. Who's
Cincinnati. No, they picked
No, they picked. Detroit doesn't need one. Minnesota doesn't need one.
Detroit don't need one.
Man, they good to go with golf. I think
They can go another year with golf.
yeah, because they're trying to win today. They aren't thinking about.
You don't think they can draft for the future in the first round? Okay.
They trying to win now. Hey, this is what happened. We had all these guys hurt, particularly on defense last year. In the playoff, we need to get some depth, some quality depth. Let's draft somebody. Let's draft defense. We got the running game. We got the passing attack. We need defense. Let's shore up the defense. Because you remember what's his name is gone also. Okay, Minnesota's up now.
They don't need a quarterback.
No, they don't need a quarterback.
Because their guy for the future didn't even play last year.
Yeah. So there's no reason. There's really no. The Rams could go quarterback. Now the Rams could go after Shedeur because you don't know if Stafford is going to hit the wall in the next year too.
So if the Rams don't make Shedeur the quarterback of the future, Shedeur not going in the first round.
It'd be if Donovan Jackson, guard from Ohio State,
Going to Houston.
No, going to Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Houston on the clock. Congratulations, yeah. Donovan Jackson. I think Houston goes.
I think they go O-line because they just lost Tunsil. They lost Tunsil, so they need a replacement for him.
Okay, I'll give you O-line, and I'm also thinking safety. They locked in.
Oh, the Giants are back with the trade.
Oh,
Now they could go. They could go and say, "Hey."
So they trade.
They could say,
because I'm trying to figure out what Houston need is.
The Giants could say, "Look, Wilson is a stopgap. He's here for a year. We can go ahead and get Shedeur or another quarterback.
We got either James or Russell who can bring him along.
Yeah, and if it's Shedeur, if it's Shaw, or if it's Dart, they can sit for a year, and then they don't have to sit. They don't have to play right now.
And then it goes back to everybody's draft pick of him going to the Giants.
Yeah.
Who did the Giants pick first?
Carter. Abdul Carter.
Right. That'll be future.
Yeah, they could say they picked. I
wonder what they gave up for him.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Lock.
I'm really curious to see what what the game plan is for Travis, because he's like I said, he said that if he's not allowed to play both ways, he won't play football, which is some bull. He's gonna play,
Well,
but
and if he's not allowed to play both ways, Jacksonville is a franchise that is so free in mind they'll allow him to do that.
yeah,
Jacksonville don't have no control.
yeah. I'm wondering though, if I would like to have heard someone clarify that, or him clarify saying both ways. Hey, I want to start. I want to play full time, either on one side, on offense or defense, either one, and I want to play at least part time on the other side of the ball. Because again, that's a tough ask to ask anyone to play both ways, full time on both sides in the NFL.
Who does he have?
Because it's not
He got that young wide receiver that can grind him out at DB, right?
Kirk is there.
Kirk and the young boy, Junior.
Yeah,
What's his name? Oh man, I know his name. Hold on, just don't. All we gotta do is look it up.
it's gonna be. I'm not sure how much run he's gonna get starting both ways. Because you don't want to tire him out.
They already got him at our lads already picked him up.
Who picked him up?
Also Brian Thomas Jr. and De'Ami Brown, Gabe Davis, all them guys can give him some run. Now, who can give him some run? So they got him in the depth chart at wide receiver, but they don't have him in the depth chart at cornerback. But he behind Jerry and Jones. So them young cats gonna have to give him some run in practice to see what's going on. All right, Sean and Dayball, what y'all did? They talking about their wide receivers.
Malik Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy.
$34.99 and a third round in 2026.
Yeah, Travis is gonna be for Travis, he can say, okay, I can go and see my dad more often because my dad is in Florida and I'll be in Florida, and
we can travel.
He seems the type that if they allow it, that he'll move his dad up there to be with him in Jacksonville.
His whole family probably.
Yeah.
Cause that boy from you know what, Jacksonville right there in the area of Georgia where he was playing high school. That's right over the border.
Yeah, and his brother is there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that might have been a coordinated choice for him. Daddy in South Florida, mom and them right over the. Let me see what high school.
Right over the border. Yeah.
Sewanee somewhere.
No, he played in Sewanee, didn't he?
Something like that. Sewanee, Georgia.
Yeah, that's up north. That's up right outside of Gwinnett County.
Right outside of Gwinnett. So he up there a little bit. Yeah,
it's in Gwinnett. Yeah, he's up there. 45 minutes from Atlanta.
45 minutes from Atlanta. So he's still that's still a 5 hour.
Yeah. Okay, Giants, what are y'all doing? Jackson Dart. Whoa. Quarterback from Ole Miss. Oh, interesting.
But they wanted one.
Yeah, it's just not the one that everybody was thinking. That That's surprising.
Is it?
I didn't think that he would be picked. I didn't think he would be picked before Shedeur. That's what I mean by surprising. Just because of the hype and everything. We'll see.
See, man, hey,
But
New
I
York
mean, you
market
know,
love. That New
yeah.
York market love them Southern California.
Hey, now this will be now. Hey, look at it this way. They can say
USC boys.
Jackson Dart. Hey, Ole Miss quarterback coming to the Giants as a quarterback of the future. Hey, you know what happened? They say, hey, well, you know what happened last time? We got our starting quarterback from Ole Miss. We got 2 rings out of it.
And you know what
You
happened the
know
last
that's
time?
gonna
You know
be.
what happened the last time a USC guy was in New York?
Yeah, but he played at Ole Miss the past few years.
Woo!
Oh, that's right. Tommy DeVito's still there. He'll be gone in about 5 minutes.
The last time that guy came up, what you need to do is you need to just go ahead and build a defense around.
Yeah. And I tell you, Russell Wilson, he's doing like a lot of guys do. He just holding on now. He's a 1-2 year contract guy everywhere he goes now. This might be his last go. This might be his last hurrah. They could,
You know what's funny about that? I hate to say it, man. This might end up racial.
nah.
Hey, man, you got 2 black quarterbacks and a white one.
Yeah, but really, how far do you expect to get with the 2 quarterbacks they already got?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And what I'm saying is somebody can switch that over into and if I'm not mistaken, oh no, neighbors LSU.
yeah.
Why did he leave USC? Because of Caleb?
Because it wasn't getting playing time. Oh, the Falcons are back.
The Falcons back.
They might be going defense again.
Yeah, because you know they ain't going
That's
quarterback.
a
So take
yeah,
the sure out of it.
yeah. I said they first 3 picks might be defense.
Isaiah Bond's still out there. That was a sweet little ball he threw there.
Wow, the Rams traded out for a second and a seventh.
In what round?
Second round pick and a 7th round pick in
Okay, in the seventh
2026.
round. Okay.
And and that's in next year's draft. Yep, the Falcons going
I don't
defense.
think this draft was that sexy to a lot of people. After the top heavy boys
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, I think this draft is gonna go down for as far initially, this first round is gonna go down as a draft of needs and not sexy picks.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look back on this draft if some guys come out like, oh, it was in that 2025 draft. They looking good. Because somebody gonna come out and be doing something.
Yeah.
So
Another edge rusher.
yo, whoa,
James Pierce.
whoa,
James Pierce Jr.
okay, hey,
Hey, they ain't have a
Atlanta
31
said,
sacks last year.
Atlanta said, we tired of getting this shootout. We know we can score with you.
Yeah, Atlanta said, hey, we ain't have a 30 sacks last year. We need to get some. That's a good pick.
That's 2 good picks.
I mean, hey, the most important positions on the field, quarterback, wide receiver, because he's catching the ball, your cornerback because he's defending the guy who's catching the ball, and your pass rushers because if they can get through and put the heat on the quarterback, your whole offense fall apart.
The whole offense fall apart. And he long and rangy too.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, like I told the last guy, stay out the club.
Yeah, just
Stay out
order.
the club.
Just have your wings delivered.
They have your wings delivered. Gwinnett County is the only county you need to be worrying about.
Man. Oh, it's Falcons fans gonna be feeling good going to bed tonight.
Yeah, cause they were mad last year, but not because this is what they wanted last year.
Yeah.
This is what they wanted last year.
And they did what they needed. They drafted for need.
That girl didn't look too happy. That girl that was sitting next to her, she ain't look too happy.
She probably, man, he going to Atlanta and I can't come yet. He might be he might be in the wind.
He gonna be in a week.
See, none of them need quarterbacks. None of those teams need quarterbacks.
They don't need quarterback.
Now we might see a run on defense now.
Yeah,
so I think all these teams that's left want to shore up their defenses.
I think Baltimore can use a weapon on the outside at wide receiver. They could. Baltimore also that running back out of Ohio State. Like Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry can hit the wall at any time too.
Yeah. So they could do that for depth in the future.
Yeah.
Buffalo could go running back if they're available because they've been hesitant about paying Cook anyway.
He can't handle the load.
Yeah, they've been hesitant about paying him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Detroit doesn't need one. Detroit's solid. Detroit would go defense.
If Detroit wants to keep that same situation on offense and they're dealing with Jameson, they could go try to find his replacement and let him seek his trade. But they could still get that in the second round. But you saw the fall off when they
all those guys hurt on defense, and when they lost
they got to go defense.
And when they lost Slade, the cornerback, they lost him.
You got to go defense.
So you got to go and get you a corner to replace him, and also what is his name? Not Hendrickson. The defensive end who tore his knee up.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So they're gonna get somebody else. So yeah, they're going defense. Washington will go defense. I think Washington will go defense.
Washington could pick up that tight end out of Penn State. I don't.
You think Penn State got a second tight end who's worth first round pick? Yeah, remember Warren left. Warren was gone early.
Warren gone. My bad. Warren gone. But that's right. He gone. Let me see.
I know Jason Taylor's son. He's available. He's not going tonight though.
LSU. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. Mason Taylor.
Yeah, Mason Taylor.
he might get picked in the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys. Um, this might be a best available pick thing.
Yeah. Hell, Mason Taylor could end up in Miami just on the strength of his dad played there, made the Hall of Fame,
Exactly.
and bring him there because they could use another tight end.
And then even if he in Miami, you got his daddy
Yeah.
sneaking in practice right quick.
Mm-hmm.
Off the fact that I
Okay,
played for
Baltimore.
Miami and my son
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going defense. I guess Shedeur said, yeah, that's why I ain't come to the draft.
But you sure having a big old party. Who was that? Who was that out on the boat fishing when he got picked? He was 3rd round. I forgot who that was.
It wasn't Larry Tunsil. It was it was a lineman.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Oh, Malachi Starks, defense, like I said, from Georgia, going to Baltimore. That's a
I
good
can see
pick.
that. I can see that.
Another pink suit.
And they took him. I guarantee you, if he would have been in that 32nd pick,
I would. I ain't saying nothing. Oh, yeah. So yeah, that was a good pick for them. So let's see. Yeah, Shedeur and Milrow will both be 2nd round picks. Now it just depends on which one of them gets picked first. And Tyler Shaw is in there.
yeah, and Tyler Shaw, Jackson Dart ahead of Shedeur. You know, Shedeur ain't make a Shedeur. This don't surprise a lot of people. Except the people who was looking at Shedeur.
But there's a lot of build up around him, and a lot of that build up around him comes from his dad, because his dad's been hyping him the past 3 years as being like the best quarterback that you ever see.
Exactly.
And I think what's hurting him also is he's not an elite athlete. I mean, he processes very well, but he doesn't have the strongest arm. He's not mobile. He's a throwback type quarterback. He's a classic pocket passer. And the game is moving. It's been moving towards
But
quarterbacks who are mobile.
you need to be that. You need to have, and that's not saying he won't be successful, because I think I'm giving a disclaimer here. But you need to be that at 6'5" to be 1st round.
Yeah,
Because Eli was a tick below Peyton,
yeah,
probably 2 ticks. But he everything you just said. But 6'5", I knew it was a safety coming up somewhere soon. I said that. But
yeah,
anyway, 6'5", that's different when you got that.
yeah. But he's like Shedeur is like 6'2". So he does. Yeah, he doesn't have, like I said, he's not a fast twitch athlete. So that hurts him. He's accurate as hell, which you want, but he doesn't have that cannon of an arm to over and that extremely quick release to overcome his inability to escape the rush.
Yeah.
He needs to be, so he's going to, for him to succeed quicker, he's going to need to be somewhere where they have a really solid offensive line. Because if he has to be moving around, it's gonna cause him problems.
Or he need to be in a division where he don't need to be doing all of that.
Yeah. And now, I mean, because I just don't believe anybody's going to pick him tonight. He's going to have to be. I don't want to. Hopefully, I won't hear him or Dion talking about. Yeah, no, this is just motivating us. We're gonna show everybody. No, just keep your mouth closed.
I'm gonna go so far as to say this. Prime been looking at them boys forever.
Mm-hmm.
Even down to Bucky.
Mm-hmm.
Prime knew he's still the only athlete that was in that house. I mean, like that deal.
Yeah.
So he knew what Travis was. Travis is now
Yeah.
the third pick and a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
Playing both ways. Arguably, if I concentrate on either one of these sides of the ball, I'm gonna be that deal.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm not gonna argue with that because it's still which one he would have been best at if he concentrated.
Right.
Nevertheless, he knew that man can look at a guy and be like, yeah. He knew his sons weren't. He knew that long time ago. You know, and I'm not saying because the man going in the second round, Shiloh ain't got picked. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying he's just an athlete that can look at that and know.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, okay, he's not that.
He's
He's
not
pretty
that.
good. He's pretty good, or he's good, but he's not. Hey, you don't have my genetics. You got. I think your mom's genes took over.
Yeah, your mom got a little bit too much. That's all. He knew that. He been knew that.
But he was selling them, which I don't have a problem with.
I don't
But
have a problem with.
I mean, but it's like my son when he was playing, I had him at corner, and I knew he'd be all right there. But like receiver, he talking about he want to be receiver, and the coach and can I put him
Aiden
in?
Hutchinson.
I was like, no, he ain't gonna be. Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson. Okay, defensive tackle Talik Williams. Yep, defense for the Lions. But I knew he wasn't. I knew his best spot was going to be at corner, and I knew why. I knew his shortcomings, and I told him, and I also told the coach, "Hey, he's not. He ain't gonna be no receiver. You put him there, you want to, but it ain't gonna work out.
It ain't gonna work out.
It's a, no, you have to be honest with him. And I no, so now he's gonna be giving Shedeur a pep talk all night, and like and Shiloh, I don't even know if he's gonna get drafted.
But now you have to strategically go. You have to Shiloh might get drafted, or he gonna definitely UFA and get on the roster.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
gonna get on the Atlanta roster or Washington roster or Cowboy roster because they gonna sell that Sanders jersey.
yeah.
They gonna give him that
Yeah.
2-1 and be like, hey, this your job. And I want you to
Mm-hmm.
be at all the community events and all that stuff. But anyway, back to Shedeur. Now it is definitely strategic. He goes somewhere where he can be successful
Yeah.
to that pep talk you say he gonna have to definitely maintain that second round. I don't think he going to the third.
Yeah, I think he goes second.
I think he goes.
And he doesn't have the pressure of you the number one pick. You need to be doing such and such. They're gonna still want it out of him, but you're not the first round pick.
Take your time,
So yeah.
ease yourself in there, then take a job.
Yeah.
But you need to be
I think he's gonna be
great.
fine. Yeah. I think he's gonna be fine. I never thought he was gonna be a great quarterback or change the franchise around, but I think he's gonna I thought and I still believe that he's gonna be solid.
Jacksonville gets back in the equation now
Yeah.
because now you're saying, oh, I can have him with my boy. And Travis has always been his safety net as far as quarterback is concerned. And then Sunshine doesn't have to look over his shoulder. He doesn't. He does, but he doesn't.
Yeah, but would you want to bring Shedeur into Jacksonville and you just signed Lawrence to that deal and you know that there's going to be some outside
Yes.
influences
No
and
one's
they
gonna,
and
no one's going to be
what's his
mad.
name from
No one's going to be mad if Lawrence does his job because he's looking over his shoulder. Either. Because
Mhm.
we know this is our golden boy. I'm not moving him anyway. I'm not moving him because of money, and I'm not moving him because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing anyway. Even for Shedeur. And I have the fact that Shedeur is a second rounder backing up my thought process.
Yeah,
Yes, I
and
understand where you're coming from, but I don't think in the second round it I mean, the black constituents might have something to say, a couple of games, but they like him too.
yeah.
They like Sunshine. Hey,
Who now
I'm gonna let
now
Tank take over for 2 seconds. I gotta plug up. It's a long show.
okay.
Hold on.
Yeah. So at this point, there's Shedeur who's available. There's Tyler Shaw who's still available as far as the remaining top two quarterback prospects. And athletically, specifically talking about mobility, Shaw is the better quarterback when we talk about the ability to move around. I think, I'm trying to remember who is Seattle's quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised to see Shedeur out in Seattle. Nor would I be surprised if, when they come back around, if the Raiders were to go ahead and draft Shedeur, which I think would be a good pickup for them and for him, because of course we know Tom Brady is involved with the Raiders as a minority owner. Him and Shedeur have a good relationship, good working relationship, and they talk all the time about the game, and he's also worked out with him. And so, and Tom has some sway in the building. So I think if he's available, there's a possibility that Shedeur does wind up going to the Raiders tomorrow night. And oh, hey, it's not a bad place for him to be for those reasons. And also, hey, there's no state income tax here in Vegas, so he can keep a little more of his money. But for me, that's my bet for where he's going to end up, unless there's a trade made. Now, Tyler Shaw, on the other hand, I'm thinking he and Milroe might be the next two picked after Shedeur. And Milroe has an opportunity to be picked after Shedeur because of his athleticism. We got Josh Connerly Jr., offensive tackle out of Oregon, who's just been picked by Washington. And I said earlier, I believe Washington is going to go offensive line because you got that stud at quarterback, Jalen Daniels. You need to keep him as upright as possible. This guy 6'4", 311. A new hog for them. So I think this is a good pickup for them. They're taking care of Jaden Daniels with this pick, and I believe the rest of their picks in this draft are going to be done to take care of him also, either directly on offense, but particularly on defense, so that he doesn't have to be in shootouts every week. He doesn't have to worry about having to score 28 and 30 points because the defense can't stop anybody. So I think Washington is on the right track. They're on the right track, and I think they're going to make a lot of noise this year. I don't think there's going to be a sophomore slump for Jaden. I don't think that the team is going to take a step back. I think the team is going to take a step forward. But we will see. The team is balanced, particularly on offense. They're balanced, and Jaden is he's the X factor. And I think that we're going to see a lot more out of Jaden Daniels this year. I think last year was just the tip of the iceberg. I don't think that's anywhere nearly as good as he's going to be as he gets better chemistry with his team, better grasp of the offense, and they expand the offense and utilize more of his abilities. Now we got Buffalo on the clock, and I believe Buffalo is a strong candidate to pick up a running back, particularly old boy out of Ohio State. If they don't go running back, they could go receiver because I don't know how much more Mari Cooper has in the tank. It's either receiver, running back, or defensive line for that Buffalo's going to pick. And if I was a betting man, I would say they're probably going to go defensive line, as we've seen linemen are being picked a lot in this first round so far. So it appears as though this is an offensive and defensive line heavy draft as far as the first round goes. And I'm still waiting to see Scatterbo get picked. He might get picked to complement Cook in this round because he's a mutter. His running style, his attitude, and his build is built for running in cold weather. Now I don't know if he's gotten an aversion to playing in the cold, being he's been in Arizona all this time, but there's a good chance that he could wind up there. We'll see. What do you think
I
for
heard.
Buffalo?
Ooh, I'm kind of with you on running back or wide receiver. But they might go defense
I
because
think it. Cause,
you still got that young wide receiver that out of Florida
yeah,
State that they still have high hopes on. So wide receiver, no. But I'm just saying, they're at the bottom of the draft. Do they need protection? Does Josh
I think
Allen
they
need?
go. I think he needs protection with another running back, or with a receiver who can take the top off of coverage,
Is
because
that
Coleman can't.
Coleman
Coleman is he
can't
can't do that.
exactly. He can't do that. But where they're picking,
I say defensive line as well.
they may need a splash on the defense to
Yeah, because they signed Joey Bosa, but he's only there for a year. But he's always hurt anyway.
right.
He's always hurt.
You 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 got to be thinking. I got to get past Baltimore or Kansas City.
Yeah,
I know who I'm going to meet. I know who's right
and
there.
and the way to get past them is to stop those offenses.
Stop those offenses.
That means getting more heat on the quarterback.
They definitely are not real Buffalo Bills fans. But I did hear Washington picked up offensive line.
Offensive line. Yeah. Yeah, I said they were going
Jaden
O-line.
Daniels, and that's good. That's actually a good pick for them.
Yeah.
I heard you mention that he's going to. You have expectations for him to get better in the second season.
Yeah.
I always look to that, but I also know that game film is a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think the reason I'm saying he's going to get because that's the natural order of things, but also because the coaching staff is more acclimated to things that he can do and can start adding things to his
Adding things,
toolbox.
I can see
Adding
that.
things to his toolbox.
I can see that. Speaking of adding things,
She look like Kiki Palmer.
that little girl did.
Yeah.
That's the name I couldn't come up with, but that is who she looked like.
Okay, Buffalo, you're on the clock. What y'all got? Roger Goodell said the best part of his job is calling the guys' names and shaking their hands when they get drafted.
And then them same guys get fined by him, and he has to go babysit.
Cornerback Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky. Like I said, hey, you gotta stop those passing
Yeah, you
games.
gotta stop the people, man. Absolutely.
4.28 40, so you know he can run. He can hang with whoever.
Can you run in the snow?
Yeah. Okay, what you got on his suit?
Hold on. It ain't flash for me yet. I'm getting it. The TV screen a little behind. I'm getting it on the other chart. But I'll tell you what I got on his suit in 2 seconds.
I am glad to see all these guys at the draft.
Yeah, all the guys knew they were gonna be at least first round.
Yeah.
Remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger what Batman was that Arnold Schwarzenegger played in?
Damn. Damn. Nah, you
I
trying to say he
understand,
look
I
like
understand
Mr.
you wanna
Freeze?
no, yeah, I understand. I understand the theme of the suit.
Uh-huh.
You're a Kentucky player, and you
Mm-hmm.
let the world know you cold. You cold with it. But you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Was it Batman Returns? Like what? Boy, that
it,
woo. No, sir. No, sir.
so you don't like the suit?
I can't use it.
Is it the whole overall ensemble or is this the jacket?
The jacket, man.
Mm.
Jacket. The jacket.
Other than that one, but the only real over the top one that we saw was the cornerback in the black and gold suit. Everybody else, for the most part, everybody's been dressed normal for the most part.
Yeah, it been normal. Like I said, it looked very K and G. You know, they didn't go overboard. They didn't spend a lot of money. And I'm not expecting them to.
Yeah,
I actually like the fact that they are very frugal with their
yeah.
actions. My thing is, see, in New York, you lay that out, and it's probably
uh-huh.
fashion people like, no,
Yeah.
ain't gonna do that. In Green Bay, them people don't show up.
Oh, there's been a trade, the Chiefs and the Eagles. So the Chiefs get the 31st pick. Mm.
But I thought the Chiefs,
Not the Chiefs, the Eagles. The Eagles get the
yeah,
31st pick. They just traded. So what's the odds that this is a University of Georgia defensive player?
Ask Vegas.
Yeah, this has been a draft that didn't have a lot of splash.
Yeah,
Well,
they
this
have
is
a lot of
first
splash.
round, not a lot of splash, but I think it's been more quantity. It's been quality as opposed to quantity.
Absolutely.
Not a whole bunch of. I don't think there's been a whole bunch of overreaching. I think Jackson Dart is probably the biggest reach.
And he's definitely a reach because they gave up a lot for him. So New York, as far as the Giants are concerned, they have a thing, man. And I think Eli has them in a place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like what do they call it? They have a type.
Yeah.
When you date the same girl and they all look the same, they got the same type of makeup and features. New York has a type, and that
Yeah,
might have
but
been
but
started by who was there before Eli?
Phil Sims was the
Oh,
mainstay, but Dave Brown was there. Um,
Stetler,
uh,
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner was there.
You know,
But they hadn't had a long term answer quarterback for a
they haven't
while
had a long
before
term
Eli got
answer
there.
before Eli got there, right? So this is just what they do, and now when they look for a long term answer, like Phil Sims, who they drafted, right?
Yeah.
They have a thing, man. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say anything. It's just what it is.
Because the things are going the way they want them to, what's his name would have still been there, who they overdrafted and got.
Danny Jones.
No, not yeah, Daniel Jones. Yeah, yeah. He's so bad I can't even remember his name. Yeah,
That's
he's
how
in
bad it was.
Minnesota now. He's in Minnesota.
Right. And mind you, now they have to have those guys who, like, the Jets, the Giants want, you can play in New York, you understand the limelight, but we still, we need you to be wholesome over here, guy. The Jets still trying to find your name.
Yeah.
That's Furs on the sideline. They still trying to find him.
To be honest, because he has a little panache. If they didn't have Justin Fields already, Shedeur would fit with the Jets. He would have been because a little flash, and hey, we just need somebody who can sell some tickets. Because we trying to compete with the Giants and the Bills in this state.
The only thing about that would be how would Prime feel about that franchise one.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's Justin Fields, because we already know where he stands.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, Justin Fields' career has always had somebody. He's been he's been the one where someone had to look over their shoulder for him, and then he had to look over his shoulder for them.
Yeah, but
Funny how Russell
The
and
Jets
Jets
French.
New York now.
Yeah, but the Jets franchise, Dion would have been like,
Yeah, Prime one.
I don't want you going there.
I don't want you going there. You end up looking like Geno.
This is what his drop is looking like. It's looking like Geno's.
Looking like Geno's.
Now the Eagles selection is about to get announced. And which player from the University of Georgia did the Eagles select?
And
Oh,
it's like,
Jahad Campbell from Alabama, linebacker.
oh, they
So
went S. They
they
went
went
S.
one state over.
They went
Yeah.
one. Now they about to really be arguing in that locker room. Oh, he about to get hazed hard. He about to get hazed hard. Well, he got Smith.
Yeah.
Smith
I like this.
protecting.
Yeah. He got Smith. He got Smith. He got Jaden.
You got Jalen. You got Jalen.
Yeah. He went linebacker. Oh, what about his suit?
Hold up. It's sad this draft and turned into. All right, I'm gonna give him a modest black. Yeah, okay. Modest. Yeah, okay. Hold on, let me see the full
Yeah.
thing though. And then Joker been rocking some sneakers. Okay, all right, all right, all right. There you
Yeah.
go, buddy. There you go, buddy. Modest. You know, you're a defensive lineman, linebacker wearing black. You know, it's the quarterback's funeral. I see where you're going. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna give you that.
And he can learn behind whomever behind the veterans there. He's not being thrust in where he got to start right away.
Well, if that front line has any type of season that they had last year, he's literally gonna benefit because they gonna hold down gaps. He's just gonna be let me
Yeah.
this here for me. He can eat. He can eat.
Look at that. And he be playing behind Jordan and Jalen.
Yeah, he can eat. They're gonna test him on the
Mm.
edge, see what he got, see what the
Yeah.
speed like.
Okay, now we got Kansas City. Who does KC go for?
We are now at the end of the first round of the 2025 NFL draft, and Kansas City, not the Eagles, not the champions, have the last pick. I don't. I think Kansas City did that because someone down the line is going to look at this draft and say, "Wait, Kansas City won the Super Bowl." See, that was strategically to get you to forget. I don't think they had
I,
any intent in mind, but I wouldn't be surprised with offensive linemen.
yeah, they on O
Like
line.
the 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 Eagles just said, if we meet you again, guess what? We got somebody to attack you again.
Yep.
So you might want to take this pick and go get an offensive lineman to help you out, because that's how we beat you. That's how the Bucks beat you. When you lose Super Bowls,
The Eagles really wanted him because I mean when I say they really wanted him to trade up one pick because they didn't know because if they didn't know KC could have been hit making it look like they were gonna get him. And if they missed out on him, they don't get a pick again until the 64th pick in the draft.
and they don't. That mean they don't. That means they don't cover a need.
Yeah. So that
So
means that 31 more teams get a 30, including the Chiefs, would have been 32 teams to get a pick, 31 teams to get a shot at him before the Eagles got another chance, or they
exactly
would have had to trade up to try to snag
in
him
the
somewhere
second
in the second
round,
round.
just in case Kansas City said, well, no, if Kansas City said we don't want him, they would have got him with the last pick. But they weren't playing around.
Yeah.
So if Kansas City did they need a linebacker?
Yeah,
I don't think
they could have
I don't think
used
it's
one,
far
but they
fetched. I
really
don't think
needed
it's far fetched to
they
think
really
they
need
choose one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think Kansas City need a bell cow running back too.
Yeah. Pacheco,
Scatterbo.
scatter a two back scatterbo system with Pacheco, but it's the same type of need some lightning. Before this last pick, hold it down. We're gonna be looking at the screen.
So here we are with the final pick in the draft. Do the Chiefs go need or do they go best player available? Oh, they went offensive tackle, Josh
Yep.
Simmons out of Ohio State.
And I think they
And
were
that
gonna
was
do that
definitely a need.
anyway. Yeah, it was definitely a need. They were gonna do that anyway. Eagles just said we're not risking it.
Mm-hmm.
You pay the 30. I'm gonna let you pay the 31st pick money.
Yep. And we gonna get who we wanted in the first place, and we gonna
Anyway,
get him for a little for a couple of dollars less because he's gonna be the last pick.
exactly.
and you notice how the NFL does. They like, wait a minute, this draft moving a little fast. We're gonna have to slow this thing down, and that's what they did.
That's what they did. They slowed it down to make sure they had that coverage.
Mm-hmm. So now we'll see who the first pick in next tomorrow night will be.
I know a lot of people who, if y'all watching, that guy doggone KD talk too much. You think he know everything? I told y'all. I told y'all what time it was with that boy. And y'all didn't believe
Yeah.
me. But shout out to all of the players who went in the first round. Cam Ward, D2025, number
Con-
1 overall draft pick.
Congratulations to all of you.
Congratulations. Um, you still, even though I think we got a number 1 overall draft pick out of Miami that actually has a Heisman. So you Florida State fans, chill out. We've been had that, in different. Y'all just be arguing about, oh, what current, oh, whatever, man. And what Florida State player got picked in the first round this year? Oh, not one. We even got a University of Florida. Oh no, that was University of Florida highlights. Them were University
Yeah,
of
that
Florida
was.
highlights with Ole Miss. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything about those Gators. Y'all got a national championship basketball. That's what y'all gonna argue. I'm not even gonna argue with you. Nevertheless, this has been the 2025 NFL Draft live show. I want to thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for joining. Tank, you got any words?
Hey,
You want to discuss,
we
what you saw, summarization of the situation? I'm good. I'm
it
good
was.
at Cam Ward, man. I'm good. Like I don't. That was my draft.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of quality available tomorrow in the second and third rounds because some guys who probably had first round grades are going to get picked tomorrow. So you, in essence, you're getting some first round talent for a second and in some cases third round picks. For those of you who weren't selected and thought you were going to be tonight, keep your head up. Hey, we got tomorrow and we got Saturday. There's still the possibility of you getting your name called. But all I have to say in this, and then I let it go. Pittsburgh, we got to do something about our quarterback position. That's all I got to say. We have to do something, and it has to be something smart. We don't have a second round pick tomorrow. We don't get to pick again to the third round unless we trade. So we need to do something to make it count.
Did you hear that? And I know I only spoke of Cam, Miami, but just to be honest, man, I gotta mention the Cowboys. And we have Tyler Guyton. We just picked Tyler Booker. And we have Tyler. What's the other Tyler that's there?
Shaw.
Shaw?
Yeah, the
That
quarterback, Shaw.
No. We have
Oh.
three offensive linemen named Tyler. Picked in the last 3 seasons, picked in the last 3 drafts, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on.
Maybe y'all need to get away from Tyler's because it ain't been working for you.
Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, and now Tyler Booker. Smith, legit. I'm gonna say Booker, Alabama, legit. Guyton is the prospect, and he may mesh in well with them. But Jerry, we need Tyler the Creator. You hear me? We need the Tyler that's going to create some offense for us. Okay? Okay? Because right now, the way you've been picking, and these last 30 years, we looking like Wendell and Tyler. So I feel you with these offensive linemen, but come on, man. I'm still in the transfer portal. And my number one jersey looking real clean right now. Woo! It's looking real clean. And the crazy part about that is I still got I all my shoes in the closet. Transfer right on over. They add a little red in there. They transfer over. They transfer over real nicely. They transfer over. And what was I about to say? It's not that far of a trip. Tennessee right there. Tennessee right there. And there's some Cowboys over there too. You know. Oh, wait a minute. Don't leave, Kevin. Don't leave, Kevin. We got a volunteer. We got a Tennessee volunteer at backup quarterback. Oh, you do. You do. You do. You do. But you still got a rebel. I mean, no, you still got a bulldog there. Excuse me. And I just don't like. And that's all I got to say, Jared. We need Tyler the Creator. Now, having said all that, this has been live, no jazz. Woo, long show. I'm not going to even edit this. I'm going to let it go. I'm just let it ride. And I will be hitting Tank Up tomorrow because Friday night might be a sexy round. I don't know yet. But we'll see. We'll see. Tank, what you got to say? You salute the people?
Hey, y'all appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And that you tell somebody about the show.
Absolutely. It's been wonderful. Thank you all for joining us for the draft.